This match in the 1999 AFL Premiership season proudly brought to you by Ultratune, Sip and Save and Mitre 10.
Round 18 of AFL action, 5 weeks before the finals. Welcome to Waverley Park in Melbourne for this game between St Kilda and the Adelaide Crows. Well, the Saints are playing for their position in the finals, and I suppose mathematically the Crows can still make it, but I think realistically their chances went a few weeks ago. Let's take a look at their position on the ladder and see where they are, and you'll see that St Kilda down in 7th place with a record of 9 and 8. They have been as high as 3rd this season, but they've stumbled recently, losing 5 of their last 7 games. Then we go down to the Crows, who've won the Premiership in the last 2 years. They're 11th with a win-loss record of 7 and 10, and they've won just 3 of their last 11 matches. Let's have a look at the run home for both these teams. And the Saints, they play the Bulldogs next week, then the Kangaroos. They're 2 tough ones, 2 top teams, then Carlton and West Coast. Tough run home for the Saints. And the Crows play Brisbane, then they have to go to Sydney to play the Swans, then Port Adelaide in Showdown 6, and then the Kangaroos in the final round.
The 1999 AFL Coca-Cola Premiership season, proudly brought to you by Telstra, making life easier. The McDonald's Footy Burger, the double quarter pounder with cheese. Foster's Light Ice for extreme refreshment, and the new Mitsubishi Magna 3.5, the next generation.
And welcome to the Crows as they make their way onto Waverley Park. This ground has only 5 weeks left of its existence because it'll be sold in the off-season. A chance to welcome Mick McGuan, the former Collingwood champ, to our commentary. Mick, a couple of years ago, these two played in a grand final. They're a long way from that now.
Yeah, well, they certainly are. Well, St Kilda have ideally got the opportunity to cement a spot if they win today. And Adelaide are a team that really haven't travelled well this year. So when it comes to that scenario, your own personal pride takes over when it comes to a competition.
Well, that's why they've slumped from their position of premiers down to 11. They've won just 1 of 8 away from home.
Yeah, well, they certainly have struggled, as that particular statistic indicates. And St Kilda, they have struggled also at Waverley, losing their last 3 games to the Brisbane Lions, Collingwood, and of course Hawthorn when they kicked 10 goals in that 3rd quarter. But today, these 2 teams have got personal pride to play for. St Kilda have ideally got an opportunity to cement a top spot in the top 8. Robert Harvey, they'll welcome back his return. He's such a critical player for the midfield role. Good players in midfield win a lot of the footy, and Harvey certainly does that.
And Rob Harvey is the one change for the Saints today. He comes in and Sam Cranage makes way for him.
Yeah, well, that's a fairly balanced squad when you look through the names representing the St Kilda Football Club. A lot lies on Nathan Burke, Thompson, Harvey and Everett shoulders. We know that. Stewie Lowe across half forward and Barry Hall at full forward. Those 2 players will have to win a lot of the ball in the marking contest and obviously score fluently.
Well, there are the Crows out on the ground loosening up, and they've made one change this week. Mark Stevens remarkably missed only 1 game after dislocating his kneecap, and he replaces Robran, who's out with a hamstring. So the Crows just can't take a trick with their big men. Robran's their 4th possible ruckman who's gone out this year.
Yeah, well, certainly that responsibility will go back to Herbert or maybe Stengline number 20. Who gets the first role on Everett, we'll have to wait and see. Possibly Herbert, but it could be Stengline. Those 2 players be interchangeable from the bench. And no doubt Malcolm Blight will try to keep it as flexible as he possibly can.
Brett Burton's had an amazing first year in the AFL, coming from the SANFL, and he might get a big task today.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised, Drew, to see him actually line up against Robert Harvey. They say he's the fittest player on the list in the Adelaide Crows. so I dare say he'll be getting that role on Harvey, but promising young player, can mark the ball, does kick fairly accurately for goal.
And Nigel Smart has been playing more up in midfield this year, and that's a club record, 183 games. He's in the purple patch at the moment.
Well, actually, he's been playing centre wing, Drew, and today I wouldn't be surprised to see him penetrate the half-forward line and try to kick some goals.
So today it's the Saints and the Crows at Waverley. Hope you can stay with us for the afternoon.
Hurry to McDonald's for your last chance at Match and Win Monopoly. You can still win Honda HRVs, holidays to Disneyland, flying Air New Zealand, and cash from Aussie Home Loans.
Taxi!
Hotel on Mayfair, thanks.
If you already have your home insurance with SGIC, why not think about insuring your car with us too? We'll give you 10% off both.
It's a tense moment. Will our Visa card holder from Manly win Sydney 2000 Olympic Games tickets? The wallet's out and he's going for another card. Oh, beautiful finger flick. And yes, there's the Visa card. Look at that. Let's see that again. The dummy to the other card fooled everyone, and then that beautiful move. Fabulous. Use your Visa card and you could be eligible to win tickets to the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games.
Get ready for Wendy Matthews, Australia's leading lady of song. Live in concert on her Stepping Stones tour. Performing all her hits, including the new single.
I've got to have.
Don't miss Wendy Matthews and her sensational band. Definitely a night to remember. Book now for Wendy Matthews live in concert on her national Stepping Stones tour.
You'll always find the right part for your car at AutoPro.
The Volvo S40. For performance, for $39,950. Volvo for life.
Here's a couple who bought a renovator's delight. While they're proud of the breakthrough they've made,
Put in some French doors and then pave the courtyard.
not everybody shares their vision. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist.
Let's start with Accent. It's good value, it's our own brand, great range of colours.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
You can see it, can't you, darling?
Yeah, it'll come.
Sunday, a wicked comedy premiere of Cold Drinks, Barbies, A Wedding and a Siege.
We're coming in to get you, Wall. I've got a woman and a baby in here.
To the state, he was an outlaw.
He wants what? Helicopter, do you know?
To the people, he was an inspiration.
We're going to be on TV.
To his wife, he was almost a hero.
Did you think it was going to be the best summer of our entire lives?
Colin Friels, Jackie McKenzie, A True Story, Mr. Reliable, Sunday, 8:30 on 7.
And welcome back to Waverley. It's a grey old Saturday afternoon. We're starting to get a little bit of winter, and it feels a bit wintry out here. Nathan Burke, the St Kilda captain, going back to his group. And a chance to welcome to our commentary this afternoon, former AFL Coach of the Year, Terry Wheeler.
Good afternoon, Drew, and what a match this will be. Very important for St Kilda, holding a place in the 8, and for Malcolm Blight, it's his last coaching appearance here in Melbourne, because the Crows don't return unless they make finals, and as you said in the opener, that's a very slim possibility at this stage.
And down on the boundary line, Neil Curley joins us. And Curls, we've heard a bit of a whisper that's been going around Adelaide that 50th gamer today, Kane Johnson, might be thinking of wanting to return to Melbourne.
Well, there has been speculation regarding that. I hope it's not correct, because young Kane Johnson is going to have a great future ahead of him. He's already played in 2 premiership sides and had a few injuries this year, but he has got a lot of talent, and I think he's got a good future ahead of him. So I hope from the Crows' point of view that is not correct.
Now, what about today? Who are they going to play in the ruck? They've got an All-Australian ruckman, Peter Everett, nobody to play on him.
Now, you boys wait till you see the move of the Crows ruck. I naturally thought it would be Herbert along with everybody else, but he will take his position on the interchange bench to start with, and Malcolm's done it again. He's brought up another surprise. So
I think I can see it, Charles.
Stay tuned.
Well, there's Spider Everett, who's about 6'9", so So he is one of the keys to St Kilda today. He didn't play in the round 3 clash when the Crows won over at Football Park, and the Crows need to find somebody to play on him. Let's scan the centre 4 for the Crows.
Well, we've got Stevens and Burton in there. So they're the two. It looks like Mark Stevens is the one lining up on the other side of the centre bounce. So just his athleticism and ability to carry the ground.
And another surprise also, Wheels. Robert Harvey starting from the goal square alongside Barry Hall. And at this stage, it looks like Rashudo is the player picking up Robert Harvey. And Bassett's gone to pick up Barry Hall.
So Mark Stevens, who missed just 1 week with a dislocated kneecap, starts the game in the ruck on Everett, and Everett wins it, but Stevens, with a great second effort, makes sure it's not going anywhere.
We don't think he would have been fired up for that first bounce, Stevens. It's a remarkable comeback from that injury, and yeah, a very athletic young man to be able to take the task on, and the big wide open spaces of Waverley could well suit Mark Stevens in that role.
So here's another chance for Peter Everett, but this time no restriction. Players all round him. Everett wins it easily. Tries to find Andrew Thompson. And Stevens wins the first possession of the game. Well done, son. Out to the wing to the skipper, Mark Bickley. He dodges, weaves. The hand pass blocked by Lenny Hayes. It goes to Smart. Inside the 50. Cleared by Wakeland. The Wakeland twins in operation today. Former Adelaide boys, of course. Bassett in front of Hall, but can't take the mark. It comes to James. Ormond Allen. Good tackle by big bustling Barry Hall, and he wins the free kick.
Yeah, just too slow to react. Good defensive pressure by Hall.
Half distance to Jones. A half volley. He's 45 metres out. McLaren didn't give it enough, and Rashudo's back on the line.
So Rashudo back in the square with the job on Robert Harvey in the forward line at the start of the match. Stevens in the ruck, takes the mark on the outer side.
And Hudgston's got the job on Darren Jarman at fullback for St Kilda.
Mark Stevens close to home, a Gippsland boy. Again finds Bickley in the centre of the ground. Towards half forward go the Crows. And they're the Wakelands. This one's Shane in the long sleeves. Forward handball to Lowe. Gets there the second time. They still haven't quite cleared the area. Ziller under pressure from Costa. Tackling strong and hard to open the game. Francis trying to barge his way out. Lowe lifts the ball out. Handballs. Burke concedes ground. Found a little bit of space now with Peckett. On out to Jones. He has time and room. Forward pockets free. Goes towards Everett. Dragged down by Ormond Allen. No doubt about it. Just too short, Ormond Allen, in the contest, and gives away the free kick.
Yeah, and Jerry, sorry, Curls, down to you, mate.
Thank you, Mike. This guy is going to be one hell of a handful today for the Crows. And I think you called it right, Drew. Stevens, to have any effect on the game, will have to rely greatly on his second effort.
So big Peter Everett, 3 goals in the last quarter last week to get St Kilda home against Melbourne. Finished with 5-3. His best effort for the season. Doesn't look all that happy with this one. So the first score on the board this afternoon to the Saints, the single behind.
Yeah, and also across the half-forward line for Adelaide. Young's been a penetrating player. Off half-back for St Kilda. Goodwin's gone to that part of the ground basically to play a negating role on Young.
Well, Mark Stevens is coming off with blood coming from his forehead, so this is exactly what the Crows don't need. And I suppose they'll have to bring Herbert off the bench.
Well, you would think so. Yes, here he comes. Actually, while we're there on the bench, there was Herbert, of course, Stingland, Johnson and Gallagher, and for St Kilda, Ryan, Elliott, Campbell, Gowers.
So Mark Stevens goes to the bench. Doesn't look like much of a cut, so he should be back soon. And Lucas Herbert, who 2 weeks ago came over here and might as well have come in his street clothes because he didn't even get a run, is now going to have to play on an all-Australian ruckman in Peter Everett. Jamieson to kick in for the Crows. The breeze is going right to left, so the Crows have it in the first quarter. He's taking a long time. The umpire tells him to hurry up. Burton still back in the back pocket. What a first season for Brett Burton. He's taken about 8 candidates for the Cadbury's Mark of the Year, and he's been fantastic at ground level as well. Stewie Lowe works his way to the front but can't mark. Mitchell to Everett. Everett playing it like a rover. Oops, bit of a slip. McLaren back to Mitchell. 70 metres from goal. Hall might have been a bit of a push there, but no whistle. Hall flips the ball back to Hayes. He's swamped by Smart. McLeod has it for the Crows. Great football. It was packed back there in defence, but they've broken well. Bickley to half forward. McGregor. Good mark.
Yeah, terrific kick there by Bickley, just to the advantage of McGregor. He didn't have to break stride. He's been picked up by Shane Wakelin at centre-half back. His brother Darryl's got the job on Brian Binky.
Just an 18-year-old. Didn't think he could make the distance. Smart gets a bit of his own medicine.
Should be 52.
And they'll take him right to the goal line. Well, fancy Smart being bumped like that by a little bloke, Mitchell.
In the end, there's no need for that, Drew. That's just undisciplined act. Smart had the ball in his possession. Without doubt, the umpires made the right decision. Smart should kick the first goal of this contest. And as we intimated, he started across centre wing. Today, you'll see him push forward across the half-forward line and hopefully become a multiple goal kicker from that part of the ground for the Adelaide Crows.
First goal of the game to Nigel Smart.
On Today Tonight, would you pay $1,200 for this awful video?
Never seen anything so bad in all my life.
Or more than $2,000 for this appalling effort?
Very, very badly shot.
Today Tonight investigates shoddy video producers.
It's a poor quality job.
And you should hear the excuses.
I simply was a salesman.
And Caught in the Act, revealing Adelaide suburbs' worst hit by phone vandals.
This is a $10 million crime.
Plus low-cost medicine. We compare the brands next week on 7.
And as Neil Curley indicated prior to the game, Nigel Smart been very good on the wing the last couple of weeks for the Crows, but this week has the instruction of trying to get goals. He gets the Crows first in this match. The Crows come again from half-back, out to the path of Smart again. Feeling at home on the wing, holds the ball a long time, too long in fact, and he's been pinged by the umpire.
Yeah, good persistence by his opponent in Thompson, and also Tony Francis, the one who never gave up on the chase. That's the attitude that Timmy Watson would want to see from his players.
So from half-back, Nathan Burke playing more in defence this year. The kick falls short towards his partner in Harvey. Here's Harvey's first touch of the day, and it's a gem. The Rolls-Royce is back out of the garage. Jones takes off, slips himself. Back to Harvey again. Poise, class, delivers into the forward pocket, floats on him beautifully. Right in onto the chest there. Joey McLaren in the pocket takes the mark.
Well, they've just alternated these two players. McLaren started up the ground because Adelaide kicked the first goal of the match. McLaren just started from the goal square. Hall and Lowe were both up the ground, just trying to isolate Jamison, who's McLaren's direct opponent. McLaren is very quick on the lead.
And boys, Harvey is moving very smoothly.
Here's McLaren. Doesn't quite make it. One of 5 St Kilda players to play every game this year, Joey McLaren, after playing 11, 2 and 11 the last 3 years. But there's the man everyone's come to see, particularly Saints fans, Robbie Harvey. He's only played 1 out of the last 5 games. Bounces for Hart, comes back the second time, wheels around, chips in towards centre half back, and there's Burton courageously standing his ground.
Another couple of interesting matchups in midfield. Burton has got the job on Thompson. He'll try to run off him at every opportunity. Also, Hayes is with Bickley, and also Francis picking up the dangerous Andrew McLeod.
Comes back to a big pack in front. Young steers the ball well for Andrew Thompson, who takes the mark in front of Burton. Young follows up from defence to full forward. Barry Hall on the bounce. Running out of room. Good smother by Bassett.
Yeah, terrific defensive tactic by Bassett. You can just sort of tell as soon as Hall won possession of the ball, he was going to try to screw the ball around his body at goal. But terrific defensive stuff there by...
Here's Robert Harvey having a shot. He's come into this game under a cloud with his calf injury. Forced him to miss 4 of the last 5 weeks. Lowe takes clean possession. Back to McLaren on the 50. Had to let it bounce.
Jones
beats
is on.
the tackle.
Jones is on.
Aussie. And Aussie Jones only 20 metres out from goal. And even though he's kicking into and across the breeze, it should be the Saints' first goal.
And Mick, the impressive part there, what created the opportunity for McLaren to come through was Harvey. That Harvey ran to the contest, and the Crows automatically go to try and shut down Harvey, and all of a sudden the gap opened for McLaren to come through.
Aussie Jones, it's away on the breeze to the left, another behind. So the Saints have had most of the play, but are squandering their chances.
Yeah, they certainly controlled the footy, centre forward in this opening part of the first quarter. Already it's inside 50, St Kilda 5 to Adelaide 1. Terrific efficiency from Adelaide's point of view. They've kicked 1 goal from that entry. St Kilda certainly have to kick goals when they get the opportunity.
Jamison brings it out to this near side.
Good play.
Foreman Allen off the ground, gets some 40 metres down the track. Shane Wakeland in front. McGregor comes with a tackle, but the two Wakeland boys work together. They're smothered. Free kick against them.
Yeah, in the tackle, it was too high over Benke. Benke just tried to get behind the play on that occasion. He's still got to come and present himself and make himself a target, because McGregor across half forward's only a young player, and you can't expect him to do it all by himself.
So Brian Benke, who was so very good against Kudafides a couple of weeks back, towards half forward. There he is. Burton, off he goes into the square. Whack it in. First goal, they're away.
If you've been thinking about escaping the hustle and bustle of the city, you'd better see the new Pajero Escape, quick. Because with its powerful 3.5-litre V6, cruise control, alloy wheels, side steps, air conditioning, power windows and CD player, it's such great value that from only $40,990, everyone can afford to escape. It is Mitsubishi.
Well, if their efficiency was good, once inside 50 for a goal, now they've gone in twice for 2 goals. 100% by the Crows. Saints have had most of the play, but trail. Lowe gets it down. Francis thrown to the ground. Saints fans want a free kick. Nothing doing, it'll be balled up.
Drew, even at this early stage of the game, there's something about the Crows I like, that they're all running. They look very enthusiastic and very confident.
It's interesting to have a looking at their forward line structure too, Curls. 5 players are around that 50-metre arc, all sort of congested, obviously trying to run to space, and they're allowing the hole behind with Jarman and Hutchison one-on-one.
That's correct. See, McGregor's the only one with any great deal of height, so, you know, they're ground players, other boys.
St Kilda have gone inside 5 times for just 3 behinds. Crows have gone inside twice for 2 goals. Stevens is back on the ground after being patched up. He wins in ruck to McLeod.
Oh, good hands.
Fantastic by Rasciuto to Costa. He clears the centre square. 55 out, Breeze behind, right to the line. And punts through. Oh, it wasn't punt through for a behind. Still in the field of play. Burke might have wished it gone through.
Oh, good hands, Jarman.
And brilliantly kept in by Vardy. How about that? And Goodwin takes the mark.
Well, very rarely do you see Nathan Burke fumble, but that was just due to the defensive pressure. Here's Burke. He had 1.5 metres spare on Jarman, but very rarely will you see Nathan Burke take his eyes off the footy at the critical time and fumble the ball. Vardy could have had a shot, but saw Goodwin. Good play.
3 goals straight to the Crows. Well, they should have rushed it behind.
Yeah, no doubt. Hudson tried to do the right thing. I think he just hit the ball a little bit too early and kept the ball back in play. But you go back to centre field, 2 terrific players, initiators from Adelaide's point of view. One, McLeod gave it to Rasciuto, and Rasciuto's vision to find the run of Costa was outstanding football. Those 2 players in the congestion set the play up to give Goodwin the opportunity to kick the Adelaide Crows' 3rd goal.
So Goodwin gets his first for the year. Crows have 3 on the board. St Kilda have had most of the football in the early part of the game, but they haven't been able to get the score on the board. St Kilda most efficient. Francis on the left. Wobbles it in. Mitchell in front spot. Takes the mark. 50 out. Chip kick finds Thompson.
And 50. That ball was jolted out of his arms.
By Derek Humphrey-Smith. No, he says no, but the mark clearly had been taken.
Well, isn't this 50? What's this rule all about?
And down it goes.
He dropped it, boys.
Did he?
It's hard to sort of tell from the replay upstairs, but Ben Thompson, he's playing centre wing on Nigel Smart. Smart's kicked 1. Here's an ideal opportunity to equal the ledger.
So the former Glenelg man on the left foot goes long at it. It's drifted away again. So 4 straight behinds open the scoring for St Kilda, whereas for Adelaide 3 straight.
And all from set shots, Terry. No pressure, set shots, no further out than 35 metres. You've got to kick them.
They don't help the confidence, do they?
No.
And Tim Watson looks on. Burton, forward handball to the run of Hart. As Neil Curley said, he likes the run of the Crows here this afternoon, and it continues into half forward, but Matthew Young halfback, arguably the best Saint player back there, kicks to arguably the best in the middle in Harvey.
And Robert Harvey clears out of defence to Max Hudson on his own defensive 50. Wants the centre corridor. Oh, Wakeland just gets there in time. Back to Hutchton. Now they zigzag across the ground to Aussie Jones. They haven't advanced it all that far since Hutchton got it at half-back. Over the top to Thompson. Kick by Ben Thompson. Everett on the forward line. Well, you can't beat height. And they've got nothing to beat.
And a great kick from Thompson, too. There was just too much messing around across half-back. They were looking, trying to get it going. But when Ben Thompson gets it, more often than not, he does kick it long, and that's exactly what you need, particularly when you're structured up with Everett in the forward line.
Not an easy shot, this one, with a breeze coming from that angle.
Basically got to kick for that left-hand goalpost and let the ball come back against the breeze.
There's the kick by Everett. That's well judged. That's a beauty.
Ci tengo la mia macchina, sai, è proprio un amore. E capirai, quindi, mi è venuto quasi un attacco cardiaco quando ha cominciato a fare bang, bang, bang. L'ho portato subito a Oltrecciuni e il meccanico mi ha detto che si trattava del timing. Hanno fatto la diagnosi, me l'hanno aggiustata e non mi hanno fatto pagare mica tanto, sai. Oltrecciuni, brava gente. I speak my language.
Here's the centre bounce after the Everett goal. He's back up there to do it. Look at that, over the back hook. Well read by the Crows. A quick exchange ends up with Costa. To half forward. Defensive fly and attacking fly. They're all up there. Down at ground level. Ben Thompson with Peckett. With Young. To the near side. Here's Everett. He will play forward of the ball for the most of the afternoon, you would expect. Putting pressure on the Crows' defence. To Harvey. Forward line. Lowe didn't go at it that hard. And Bassett steps in to take the mark.
Crows making a change here. Gallagher on for Orman Allen, I would say.
Front on spoil by Stewie Lowe. Bassett's kick. Benke almost. Looks like a singer in a rock and roll band, Brian Benke.
Norman Allen, he was the player that started centre wing on Aussie Jones. Gave him far too much latitude. I think that's the reason why Malcolm Blight has made that change.
Everett against Hart. And guess what? Hart beat him and gained about 20 metres.
Also, they've just brought Bickley from the ground. Johnson's come onto the ground. No doubt they're trying to rotate their midfield group as much as possible.
So here we go again. Everett gets a hand to this one. Ben Thompson's been prominent in the last 5 minutes. Hart sweeps up at ground level. Johnson, away to Hart. Out in front of goals. Good kick. Vardy. Burton, he's come from nowhere. He's knocked Vardy out of the contest. And Vardy said, who's got it?
He's just got terrific courage while the ball's in the air. Irrespective whether it's a teammate or an opposition player, he's just got eyes only for the football. And he is no doubt, with probably Adam Goods being the find of the year for their respective clubs.
Well, the way he came obliquely to that contest was a little bit like the mark that Winston Abraham took in Canberra last year. Just ran in from the side.
Yep.
See, I feel it's always a good sign to see two players going for one ball.
Burton's shot for goal looks good. The Crows can do no wrong.
MobileNet is revolutionising mobile phone usage with unprecedented value on all mobile calls. So now you can enjoy the benefits of calls from 5 cents per minute off-peak. Flat rates across Australia, regardless of distance. Easy talk paid by the second billing. And some free calls on all new mobile plans. Together they represent significant savings and newfound freedom. That's MobileNet.
So Brett Burton has 2 goals. The only player on the ground to do that. The other goals with the Crows are with Smart and Goodwin. The lone goal scorer, Everett, for St Kilda. Here's Thompson again on the left foot. Down towards Lowe. He's caught 3 deep, but the big man stretches over the top to take it. On in the square, Barry Hall. He's caught behind. Now he steps in front. Drops the mark. Prosciutto barges through Mitchell. Along the boundary line, he finds Hart.
That was strong.
Hart smothered down. Johnson, game number 50. Away they go. Gallagher just onto the ground. Dumped afterwards. Free kick down the ground. Burton takes the mark, off to McLeod.
Kane Johnson wanted to go on with it, and then he realised, oops, it was Everett. I think I'll go quietly.
Goodwin, he's taken over the boundary line, and then boundary throwing on the outer side. It's all the Crows at the moment.
Look at this, Everett, and he gets him high and late.
Fellas, I think we've got to say there is a bit of breeze going down the Crows' way.
Here's Harvey. Steps on out just along the ground towards the heir apparent. Jones under pressure immediately. He takes the ball. It's too high.
Down the ground again,
And
Terry.
free kick, yep. So Jones in amongst the action early. That's 6 disposals he's had. Thompson's the benefactor of this one. He's kicked a low, falls short. That is low, in towards Wakeland, and he's got it on the chest. So Shane Wakeland drifting on down the ground, finds himself at centre-half forward with the mark. Again in Hall. Falls short of him. He couldn't take the mark. Jarman just quickly on out towards the boundary line. A race towards it. It bounces. It sits. McGregor met. He's over the line. So is the ball. I'll throw it in. 14 points of difference. Crows leading 20 minutes. Now into the time-on period of the first quarter.
It shows you how they're flooding back lines. There's Jarman sweeping up behind half-back for the Crows. Boundary throw in, Saints in attack. Everett wins in front of Andrew Thompson. Approaches the 50, good centering kick. Low. Well, Stewie Lowe starting to get into the action a bit now. That's his 3rd mark today, but he's been averaging just 5 marks a game since round 10. So he's gone off the boil. And there was a game earlier this year out at Waverley where he took 18 in one game.
Yeah, and that's very strong hands. Saw there on the picture from the Goodyear blimp. Shot above the ground here at Waverley. Terrific strong hands by Lowe. But what you will see today, when Everett pushes forward, Lowe more or less pushes back to be an extra man out of the St Kilda forward line. Hart, whether he goes with him or not, we'll have to wait and see.
35 metres out. That's way left. Mitchell up early and high.
Good centering kick.
Dottie Jones to the top of the square, but Rashudo's there for the Crows. Rashudo across to the back pocket. Jamison clears in front of Lenny Hayes, but he'll have to be good. Oh, good gather by the youngster. Dorsey, kicked by Jones. Thompson. Bassett spoils. Still with Andrew Thompson. Now outside 50. Good shepherd by Harvey. It comes to Zilla. Low again in the chop. Almost. Barry Hall run down. Burton kicking goals and making tackles.
Oh, he's played on the ball.
It's a big call from the umpire. I thought the tackle from Burton on Hall did take him forward.
Yeah, you have a look at this, Terry, once again, and the side-on tackle, it might have been side-on, but just to say the players held the ball, it's a very difficult decision.
There was a question mark on Barry Hall earlier in the week. Didn't complete the week at training. He's under early pressure. His side is too. They need to get a score on the board. The Saints supporters taking their anger out on the umpires. And there he is, Barry Hall.
Yeah, just having a look at Barry Hall in this first stage of the first quarter. He seems to be moving okay. A couple of times he's got off Bassett, his opponent, but kicks that have been delivered to him in his area just fallen short of its target. Bassett on a couple of occasions sport well.
Hey, fellas, I thought Smart would be a tall wingman, but this young Thompson's taller again.
Well, there it is. There's a height advantage. The umpire's not happy with what he's seeing just at the moment, umpire Andrew Coates.
It's just a show of strength off the ball, yep. Terry. There's not much in that. Both players are trying to get in the right spot to receive the ball from one of these ruck contests. There it is there.
So, Smart slaps it down, but Harvey takes it. Works well with young Lenny Hayes. Across the body. Good kick in towards Hall. He's caught behind spoils from Bassett. McLaren towards Francis. Tony Francis on the left. It bounces favourably for Jones. All he has to do is pick it up, straighten up, uses the left, drags it round. That ain't bad, Jonesy. That's a goal.
Why are everyday people walking away with thousands of dollars in cash?
Australia's richest quiz is back.
Seven's $1 million chance of a lifetime.
And the chance at your dream could be just a phone call away.
The aim is to send somebody out of here with $1 million in cash.
So call now to register for your $1 million chance of a lifetime.
This is Australia's richest television quiz.
Monday, 7:30 on 7.
Aussie Jones the goal on 9 possessions. Earlier in the season, he couldn't get 9 possessions in a whole game. He dropped twice. Comes to McLeod, deep inside the 50. Punch away by Peckett. Vardy, as soon as he got it, he was bowled over by Burke. Peckett again.
Good pressure.
Oh, well done by Edwards to take him out. Throw in. The crowd want a free kick to St Kilda. There's a bit of heat in this game. Oh, I love it like that. Warming up a cool Saturday afternoon.
But that's a terrific effort by Edwards. He was involved in the initial contest and really worked hard defensively to keep the ball in the Crows' forward 50.
And here's a Crows free kick from the boundary throw in on the 50, and a chance for Smart with the breeze to nail one here. Nigel Smart, it starts right. It comes back, but not enough. Oh, the mark on the line by Jarman.
How easy was that? He just made things look too easily. No doubt, 2 players, Hutchton and Lowe, would like to have another chance at that, but they just couldn't get the ball across the goal line and defend in the appropriate manner. But Jarman, very composed, took a terrific mark. He'll work his way through this situation, run around maybe on his left foot.
Close in, he's improved the angle and kicked a terrific goal.
Say it again, Mick, in case people didn't hear what you just said.
He's a freak.
He is, absolutely.
Look at the grin. He not only was goalless last week, he was scoreless. So to get a goal in the first quarter today, here's the free kick to Smart. And once again, the Saints should have got this through for a rush behind. That's 2 goals that Crows have kicked, and the Saints should have conceded 2 points.
He probably had less than a half second to assess whether do I put my hands out and mark the footy. Good players at this level don't fumble, and there's a prime example when you've got clean hands.
So Darren Jarman, an amazing 51 goals, 17 this year.
Unbelievable conversion.
He's the difference. Here's McGregor, a young man making his way in the game. Young charges it down, loses it. Edwards, committed to the football, does very well to stop that flow. That's a win to the Crows there, that bounce from Edwards.
Pretty hot footy for St Kilda at the moment. On a couple of occasions, they've missed targets. They've just been unsure in their decision-making, mainly due to the pressure from behind with the chase from the Adelaide Crows players.
So Herbert's do it. Here's Edwards now on the left foot. He's just tossed it up out of the contest. That's not bad at all. It's touched inside the contest, but his work was excellent. The last 3 or 4 minutes from Edwards, he's been aggressive at half forward. Here it is here. And Young just gets a hand to it. They all appeal. So just to behind. Peckett into Francis. Already in a verbal barrage with Andy McLeod is Tony Francis. Wouldn't be a game without Tony doing that. Lenny Hayes. Harvey towards the wing. Here's Darryl Wakeland in that wing position, wanting to move it on quickly. Does so to Harvey again, carrying the ball to Jones. He's 55 metres out. A disciplined kick towards the top of the square. Here comes Hall. He's got it. Strong and hard at the ball was Barry Hall.
Once again, Robert Harvey. He was the architect in that setup. That was his 8th possession. Firstly, he kicked the footy on the outside of his foot to Wakeland. Great vision. More importantly, followed up his kick. His second effort was to provide the handball for Jones. And as Terry said, very disciplined kick to the front of the goal square, or about 20 metres in front of the goal square, but directly in front for Hall to compete.
Blood rule, boys.
Francis coming off for the Saints.
It's interesting to see also that Stevens has been removed from the ground because Everett went to centre half forward when Stuart Lowe went into the ruck. Herbert's gone to play as a tall defender on Peter Everett.
Fellas, I think we can all recall a couple of weeks back when Stevens went down on the G with and belted his kneecap back in. It's an unbelievable recovery in 2 weeks' time to be playing again.
Incredible.
So Barry Hall, he has kicked 36 goals this year, playing game number 49. Young man at 22 years of age, so a lot of football in front of him. But this, a most important kick for his side. 35 metres out, the full forward's done it. So Hall gets his first. St Kilda get their third and edge closer.
Yeah, an important shot on goal by Barry Hall, but terrific setup once again by the St Kilda team. Ozzie Jones has been in outstanding form in this first quarter with 10 possessions. Good centering kick to the advantage of Barry Hall, who jumped into the contest, jumped early, marked the footy at its highest point, and converted accordingly for the St Kilda team.
Ball back in the centre with just half a minute to go to quarter time. Herbert gets the ball out of the middle. Johnson beats a couple, puts it very high to the 50. They want a mark from this. Scrap at ground level. A hand pass up to Burke. He clears to centre wing. Everett works his way to the front, beats Herbert easily. Away to Ben Thompson. Left footer to the 50. Hall, he didn't mark it before the siren went. Hall reckons it's his ball he wants to play on, but the siren beat you, Baz. Crowd not happy, but it clearly beat him before the mark was completed. Well, what a first quarter by the Crows. I've seen them about 6 out of the last 7 weeks. I reckon that's the best they played in that time. They did have a breeze, but they kicked 5 goals to 2 in that opening term. And against a team which is, you'd reckon, going to play in the finals. Great performance by the Crows to lead 5-1 to 3-4.
On 7 Nightly News, it's the Crows' last attempt to resurrect their season and start a run for the finals. Chris Dittmar will be at Waverley for the St Kilda clash, and we'll bring you Blighty's view on the aftermath at 6 o'clock.
Hurry to McDonald's for your last chance at Match and Win Monopoly. You can still win Honda HRVs, holidays to Disneyland, flying Air New Zealand, and cash from Aussie Home Loan. Taxi! Hotel on Mayfair, thanks.
Seen it?
Seen that one.
I think we've seen every display home
Ever built.
Hang on, they're new.
A.V. Jennings.
I love this one.
Visit the Madison 380 and you'll love it too. With a grand entrance, it offers 40.6 squares of luxury living, complete with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plus spacious lounge and dining rooms, all for an amazing $166,450. Call 131-878 or visit Regent Gardens today.
Sales tax cuts are here, and the savings are huge at Truscott Hi-Fi because we cut more than just the tax. Outgo Panasonic 68cm TVs slashed to just $998. Outgo Sony 6-head VCRs slashed to just $549. Sharp view cams cut to only $998. And Kenwood 240-watt Dolby ProLogic Hi-Fis slashed to $699. Save on tax, save on prices at Truscott. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
For the best show of ladies and men's fashions, electrical goods, shoes, homewares, sportswear and more, Harris Scarf is now open at Colonnades.
Bank SA now makes it possible for you to buy a new home before you sell your existing home, because you won't have to start paying your new mortgage for 6 months. That's 6 months of amazing grace.
Is there a range of diesel engines so reliable they can run around in the harshest conditions year after year without missing a beat? Yeah. Sci-Tech. You'll find them in the new F-Series truck range from Isuzu. Reliability is everything. Isuzu Trucks.
Adelaide switching to the new Triple M.
What you want, baby, I got. We were hopping and bobbing to the crocodile rock. Just take those old records off the shelf. I said listen to them by myself. Wow, babe, you make my heart sing.
The new Triple M is now playing the best songs of all time.
I don't mean to upset those burger boys, but I'm about to do it again. Because my Zinger Whole Fillet Burger now comes with bacon and cheese. The Bacon and Cheese Zinger Whole Fillet Burger. I know, enough teasing those burger boys.
How many beach lovers
know what lurks under the water. Meet the dolphin, known for its friendliness. John Riddell's World Around Us, 6:30 tonight.
And welcome back to Waverley. Crows fans will be happy with what they saw in the first quarter. Quarter time 5-1 to 3 goals 4. And the multiple goal scorer is Brett Burton, who's kicked 2. Malcolm Blight having a lingering word with Darryl Hart and Andy McLeod. Well, in that quarter, the Crows had 15 more possessions, and they won the centre clearances 5-3, would you believe? And Ozzie Jones was the outstanding player in the first quarter with 10 possessions. Well done, Ozzie. And down at boundary level, here's Curls.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. Well, having been out in the middle of the ground, that breeze is quite strong, is a lot stronger than I thought. And that's definitely going towards the end that St Kilda are kicking this quarter. Great centre work by the Crows. And as you said, they got the tall timber there, the St Kilda boys. But the Crows boys are playing man-to-man, of course, and that does give them an even chance to get the ball regardless of who gets the knock. We've got to wait till half-time to see how this game's going to fathom, because there's a strong breeze going that way, and that tall timber of those St Kilda boys could be a huge advantage this quarter.
And the Saints have the breeze in this second term as Everett faces Stevens. Everett knocks it over his head, but he can't clear the centre circle again. So, Curls, you're exactly right. And the Crows boys have virtually got to concede it to Everett every time, but it's what happens next. And Mark Stevens, you wouldn't think could possibly be 100% fit, and fancy having to play in the ruck. Here he goes again against Everett. Who gets the next possession? Well, Andrew Thompson somehow. Hayes. He was looking for Harvey, didn't reach him. Comes back to Zilla, and the hand pass came in from Gowans, and right on the boundary line, Bassett takes the mark for the Crows. He works towards the outer side. Hart and Smart to combine.
And this has been an intriguing matchup between these two players. Hart obviously trying to run off Stuart Lowe at every opportunity.
Ozzie Jones going like an Austin Healey. And well tuned at that. Ball out of bounds.
And Drew Gowans has come onto the ground. He's playing in a forward pocket. He's replaced Gavin Mitchell. And Brett James is his direct opponent.
Big Stewie Lowe. Only Matthew Richardson has taken more marks in the competition this year. But as Drew said earlier, it's dried up in the last few weeks for Stewie, and it's always been tough for the Saints in that period too. Here's Harvey, the man they need back.
Just fractionally high.
Robert Harvey towards centre half forward. Hall, a little bit of a push out at ground level. Rashudo, who has the job on Harvey, across the half-back line towards this near wing. Getting back is Zilla. Very good mark against Costa. Turns it back into centre half forward. Here comes Hall again. Wakeland's in there with him. Hard over the top. Everett does the roving. Stands, turns onto his left foot, kicks it across, and there's Stevens back there. Takes on Lowe. Wins with a good kick towards the boundary line. Some 40 metres around. Clears outside the 50 in front of Thompson for a throw-in.
Was that a drop kick, Wheels?
Not quite.
Looked like he actually did a drop kick to the right spot and right area of the ground to get the ball across the boundary line.
So in the end, he got what he wanted. Jamison out to the path there of Burton, who gives it on to Smart. Runs it along to the wing, now to the outside. Edwards falling to ground, couldn't take the mark. Peckett stays with him. Good handball on the up to Binky. His kick towards half forward. Hudson waits on the bounce. Jarman swallows him up with a tackle. It's too high. Vardy couldn't get away. The free kick paid to Hudson in the front spot.
That's just the one flaw occasion in Darren Jarman's game, of just giving away those free kicks back there.
Young run, gives on towards Thompson. Disposal number 8 to Ben Thompson. It's been very good. Burke along the wing. Looks for and finds Jones, racking up possessions. Drew Morford said 10 in the first quarter. And already a couple in this second quarter. To centre half forward again. Hall, it floats on over the top. Harvey and Rashudo. Rashudo just does enough to force Harvey across the boundary line.
Well, Mick, was this a drop kick by Mark Stevens?
We'll soon see. Oh, no.
A low drop punt.
They don't know how to do them nowadays.
Crows still by 9 points. It comes to Harvey, the ball jolted free. Runs into trouble. Real mess up there. Hayes gets a little kick out. Zilla gives chase. Worked over the boundary line by Bickley.
And fellas, interchange for St Kilda. Mitchell, Ryan, Elliott, Campbell, one change there.
Gowns has come on in this second quarter. Mark Stevens, if he can inspire the Crows to a victory here today. Oh, it comes down to Hayes. Hits the post. He was only 15 metres out.
Double change getting ready for the Crows here. Sengline and Johnson.
Well, Saints should have kicked a few in the first quarter, and Lenny should have kicked that.
So Jamison brings it in. Game 149 for Rod Jamison. A great servant of the Crows. Bassett into Gallagher. Gallagher, one of 6 first-year players for the Crows out there now, so they are in a transition stage. Thompson drops it, ball's in front of him, so Burton swoops on it, and just with the right foot, kicks it off the ground to the outer side. And the boundary thrown in front of Goodwin.
Obvious lack of talking there by his teammate behind him.
2 Saints there together, and Ben Thompson didn't take it. He surely should have. Shane Wakeland in front. Boundary thrown didn't come in far enough. So no side can clear the area. They're appealing for a free kick. It's not there. 8 points is the lead to the Crows.
And Wheels, usually in that situation, coaches like to see a player who's directly in front of a teammate, him calling back into the ball so you can be his eyes for you.
I don't know about you boys, but the colours of these two clubs seem to meld into each other. There's no real distinction between the colours of the two. I wonder if sometimes they confuse the players.
Yeah, it could be a valid point, Drew, because it is quite difficult when you are actually watching from a supporter's point of view. But probably down at ground level, you can distinctly know your teammates.
Ozzie Jones on fire here today. Away to McLaren. Joey approaches the 50. He should kick a running goal here. Joey McLaren.
You are an awful person.
We've all been thinking it.
If you were my husband, I'd take your...
Now Rosie O'Donnell's telling it like it is.
Little Miss Sucky Face here.
That's
Sucky
enough.
Face.
It's Allie versus Rosie. Monday on Ally McBeal.
My daughter is special. The Lord will look after her as he sees fit.
Tuesday, one intense hour of drama you must experience.
Get off her. All right.
Back off and let me do my job.
On All Saints.
I've never seen that
happening here at Waverley. It is all. Ozzie Jones, Joey McLaren on the ground are doing it. And Drew Moore, but he's been taken from behind. There'll be an inquiry later on, I'm sure.
He's trying to knock his kneecap back in, Wheels.
Young, the Saints. They've got the first of the second quarter, and they've got a sniff now. They're back to within a couple of points. Lenny Hayes, outside 50, beautifully into low. He takes it.
Unbelievable. I said it all.
While you're there, fellas, Jones has another new opponent now in Goodwin.
He's been the difference just at this early stage, getting the Saints back into it, Curls.
He certainly's found a lot of footy on the ground level.
I'm back, boys. I'm back. I got poleaxed. Who did it?
Well, it wasn't this man. Stewie Lowe directly in front for the Saints. He's missed it.
Never work in a commentary box where there's a ledge.
Boys, interchange bench for the Crows at this stage. Herbert, Orman Allen, Jamison and Gallagher.
Yeah, that's not a bad move from Malcolm Blight, putting Goodwin down onto Ozzie Jones. Goodwin started half forward on Young. Probably did his job reasonably well there, but Jones is just winning too much of the footy across half forward for St Kilda.
Thompson into half forward. Everett flies, takes the rebound in the air. Couldn't take it to Granley. He was held. They want to free the Saints, but now they'd be happier now because Jones has got it on 50. Goes long, Hall gets back, can't get it. It bounces out. And Drew Morbid bounces back in.
For all the ball he's getting, Terry, Jones, he's not quite finishing his work with his long kicks.
This was one that he should have been able to finish. His confidence is growing right on 50, and as you said, the aid of the breeze, girls.
Now the throw in the forward pocket. Everett tries to work it to the back. Andrew Thompson kicks smothered. And the ball towards the line. Hard angle here for the Saints, out of bounds. Well, I strapped the seatbelt back on. I could hardly work out who was running which way. Saints bench, Curls.
The which bench?
Saints we're on. There's Mitchell just having a bit of a hamstring stretch. And the ball's back out of bounds. So the Crows by just a point. And I think Curls' point at quarter time about the breeze and the effect of it, we won't really know until half time who has an advantage here. Certainly the Saints have a lot of wind-assisted time left, and they've whittled the deficit, which was 9 points, down to just 1. Gowans keeps the ball in.
Okay, boys, he may have missed the St Kilda bench. Mitchell, Ryan, Elliott, Campbell.
I've missed a quarter of football, Curls. I don't know what's going on.
I think the other important thing too, Curls, just looking around these stoppages in St Kilda's forward line, they've just got far too many players around the ball. Watson would probably want his leaders of the club to draw players out from that area.
Yeah, but I think Malcolm would be the opposite, to try and give to counteract that height advantage. Just crowd up, yeah, block it up a bit.
Now they've brought it to the forward line. Nobody for Hart to kick to. McGregor, poor old hand pass by Hart. Burke. Best on ground for the Saints last week, and it's run over the line by Wakeland.
So I think the point with that, Wheels, too, though, is when you're a forward, you can control your own starting point. Defenders will follow the forward, irrespective whether you stay close to the contest or suck away from the contest. As far as I'm concerned, there's too many players around those stoppages. You've got to draw away from that contest and allow the Harveys and the Thompsons, players who are quality in that part of the ground, to be used in that part of the ground.
Burke to Francis, kicked by Tony Francis.
Good pickup.
Great pickup at the half volley. That was by McLaren. Back to Thompson. Punch at the back by Bassett, but it only went sideways to Smart. Concedes 15 metres. Back to James. Short pass to Rasciuto on the defensive 50.
Gower's off with a left thigh injury.
Rasciuto's kick into the breeze on the bounce to Vardy. His kick with plenty of height. Not sure he wanted to kick it that high into the breeze. Edwards is there. It comes to Francis. Francis towards the broadcast wing. Ozzie Jones has been a star. And the ball beats him out of bounds. But Mick, on your point, I suppose the forwards can peel off and make position, but the backs can just play a zone, and they can get back there in numbers and just muck you up.
I think what Malcolm's trying to do is also push their half-forward line deep as possible and their wingers. But at the end of the day, defenders defend, and you certainly got to stay close to your direct opponent, especially in the opposition's forward half.
So we're 12 minutes into the second quarter. The only goal has been scored by St Kilda, so they've now moved into just a 1-point deficit against the Adelaide score.
In Wheels, inside 50 at this stage. St Kilda 21 to Adelaide 11. So in terms of efficiency with the amount of times you've gone forward, Adelaide have been very productive.
Here's McLeod.
Yeah, but gee, Francis is playing him very tightly, Wheels.
I think it's been a good one there for Tim Watson, Tony Francis. Been a great pickup, really. I mean, that's why Tim Watson prioritised him in the pre-season draft, picking him up, and hasn't let him down at all.
It's great to see Tony do that role. Played with him for 9 years or 8 years at Collingwood. Very rarely when he was given that opportunity, he didn't really accept it, but now it's a part of his makeup, and see him change his game, even though he's in his twilight years, it's a credit to him, and also the coaching and belief systems of Tim Watson.
But that can allow him to stretch his career another year or two, too.
Well, exactly
just
right.
Just at 30 years of age, still a fit man, Tony Francis.
No doubt.
So Shane Wakeland does the ruck work. Thompson can't get it on out. Bickley does, but it's intercepted. The Saints are away. Burke, under the late pressure, gets his foot onto the ball. The kick doesn't go where he wants it, and Hart sitting back takes the mark. Then Hart in defence. And averaging 14 disposals a week. There's the inside 50. 8-1 in this quarter. Lowe takes a bounce as the big man. He should get this inside 50 to make it 9. It wobbles up that way. Doesn't fall short. Right on the line. And Hart again repels. Working here with Kane Johnson.
Yeah, well, inside 50's 8-1, but they've kicked just 1 goal, 2-0. So just as in the first quarter, they've wasted their chances up forward. Low marks on centre wing. Very short. Young across the ground. Smart backing into his opponent, and Thompson will take the... Smart takes the free kick.
A good play there by Smart. He just denied the space for Thompson to jump into. Very smart awareness and a 50 metre penalty to Nigel Smart. He received one in the first quarter. Also one in the second quarter. Now, you dare say Nigel Smart could be in kicking distance. He'll kick from probably 48 metres.
Well, I don't know. That's more of Smart backing into Thompson rather than Thompson pushing him in the back, surely.
Bit of experience there.
Yep.
The old bull against the young one.
Absolutely. Conda free kick and got a 50. And into the breeze, Nigel Smart kicks a great goal.
Magnificent kick.
Here's a couple who bought a renovator's delight. While they're proud of the breakthrough they made,
Put in some French doors and then pave the courtyard.
not everybody shares their vision. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist.
Let's start with Accent. It's good value. It's our own brand. Great range of colours.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
You can see it, can't you, darling? Yeah. It'll come.
What has that penalty been from verbal, boys?
No, it was for holding. The umpire actually indicated, Curls, that Thompson held the jumper of Smart, and that's the reason why the 50-metre penalty was given.
Okay.
So Smart gets his second.
And before the game, fellas, he did set himself a goal. He did set himself an objective 3 goals for the game.
Yeah, we actually stipulated that. Good call, Curls. 2 goals he's already kicked.
Free kick to Thompson.
Well, that was a triple whammy. Firstly the free kick, then the 50, and then just about the goal of the day.
Andrew Thompson, long into the half-forward. Lowe's caught behind. Ben Thompson off the ground, bounces into some space, leading the racer. Bassett does very well, the fullback on the left foot. The kick doesn't get out. Harvey directly back to Lowe. Lowe goes short and he finds Mitchell. Finds Hall. Well, they've got it to the man they want to have it, and that's Barry Hall. Their leading goal scorer for the year, 37 goals now to date.
Wasn't Harvey terrific in that contest?
Well,
Mark the footy, and in the same motion, handballed the ball to Lowe to set up Mitchell, who in turn released the ball to Hall. Good teamwork all round by St Kilda.
Hall has 1 goal, that in the first quarter. From 45 metres out, he's got 2 now.
It can happen at any time. You're building a bridge or moving a fridge and you feel like you're just gonna burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. You're shoveling sand or building a dam. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
So the Saints back to within a point midway through the second quarter. Everett, and Herbert goes up against him. It goes St Kilda's way. Good use of the body by Herbert, but Hayes is over it, and the umpire will ball it up. So that's all Adelaide wanted out of that, a secondary baller.
Drew, I may have missed his work, but Kimmy Koska, do you boys just tell us what his stats are? I think he's having a pretty quiet day.
Yeah, you're quite right. Just 2 kicks. No handballs. Herbert wins in ruck. Oh, Harvey, brilliant. Gee, it was well stolen by Johnson. Jarman well up the ground with Hudson. Maxey runs away from him. Wide to the wing. That's great running by Robbie Harvey. When he wins the Brownlow, the Crows win the flag. I don't think either will happen this year. On the 50, Rashudo. In he comes, Johnson. Well run by the Crows. Bickley to Vardy. Vardy to half forward. Young from behind. Good mark.
Young into Francis. Tony Francis from centre half back. Doesn't make good use of the football. And Tyson Edwards The Crows now with their opportunity. Johnson, game number 50, into the forward line. Hudson stands in front of the charging McGregor and takes the mark.
Yeah, and that was bad play there by Adelaide. Darren Jarman was free across half forward. Should have been used with a short kick to break up the play because weight of numbers favoured St Kilda deep in the Adelaide Crows forward line.
So Francis and Burke get it back to Hodgson, who gives it back to Burke, who comes directly across to Young. When they switch the play like that, they need to keep the forward momentum going because they can have it stolen just like it is on this occasion. And the kick from Young was a poor one.
It's touched off hands. Wheels. Just at times St Kilda just try to be too cute with their disposal rather than getting long the ball to Lowe, Everett or Hall in a quick manner.
Stenglein quickly in the contest, gets the kick out and falls to Jarman. Well, there's the advantage in just getting the ball out quickly. Here's the run of Johnson, and he's got it.
That's a beautiful kick.
You wouldn't mind playing in front of Darren Jarman, would you?
You'd certainly know when to lead.
I can't quite work out from the Crows' point of view why this boy doesn't spend more time on the ground.
His work rate's pretty good.
He is. It's 21, game number 50, and already 2 premierships under his belt. He's missed on this occasion. And a good pickup for the Adelaide Crows, without doubt. A lot of injuries during his career, groin and hamstring problems, but on the big occasions he's been there, Kane Johnson. St Kilda now defending deep in defence. Peckett kicks towards Ziller. It's spoiled away. Ziller gets a second chance. They need to be aggressive in going through centre half forward. That handball doesn't hit the target. Stenglein taken in the tackle. Hart comes. Mitchell doing the tackling on Smart. Smart getting angry. There's no doubt about it. He's got something to say to the umpire, but eventually settles down and gives the ball back.
Well done by Nigel Smart, though. He had probably 3 players to beat. If he didn't win this ball at ground level, watch this. He comes in from the top of the screen. 1, 2, 3 players around the ball for St Kilda. Smart held it in the area. Very good play.
Now the Saints go forward. Punch out of defence by Rasciuto. Robbie Harvey leads the race for the ball. Brilliant football by the dual Brownlow medalist. Look at that! He's missed a month with a calf injury. Brilliant stuff, Harvey. Comes to the front to Mitchell, but he's lost control of it. James, well, Herbert didn't know which way to go. Barry Hall's got it right in front. The hand pass should be a goal to Hayes. Only just.
Honey, sure you know where you're going?
Sweetheart, it's me driving.
You're on the wrong side of the road.
Must be his first time on a bike.
Dad!
Who's up for a sandwich?
At Amy, we know there's a lot of bad luck going around. So when you've held a rating 1 for the last 3 years without making a claim, we believe it should be yours for life. So don't be penalised for a bit of bad luck. Switch to Amy now.
Don't you just love this country?
Lucky you're with Amy.
It's time on in the second quarter at Waverley. St Kilda hit the lead for the first time in the game. They trailed by as much as 15 points in the first quarter. They've worked their way back with 3 goals in this second quarter. Adelaide now searching for their second. There's the strong tackling in the forward line. St Kilda can't clear. McLeod also taken in a tackle. The tackle held on too long by Thompson. That's Ben Thompson. The free kick comes back to Andy McLeod.
Nigel Smart should be used too.
Here's Burton. Stands, delivers long. Wakeland spoils. Rushes it through for the behind. St Kilda trail by 3. They lead by 3.
Yeah, Drew, I was just watching Mark Stevens doing a bit of a run with the warm-up. You're right, he is not 100% fit.
Yeah, actually, I even thought he might have got a bit of a knock in about the first minute of the game.
Who too?
I reckon the first contest might have fixed him up a bit.
Yeah, he may well have.
Shane Wakeland to the outer side. Joey McLaren, who's been good. Stenglein, his new opponent. McLaren gets a free kick for interference. 8 disposals to Joey McLaren and 1 very good goal into forward towards Hall. Floats on over the back. A good one. Slaps it back here towards Hart. He's trying to find Rasciuto. Eventually the toe poke from Hall comes to Rasciuto and he leads for the Crows.
To midfield. Vardy to Smart, who's run brilliantly today, Nigel Smart. Long to an open forward line. McGregor in the goal square. Good boy.
Yeah, just good body use against Wakeland, his opponent. Just held his ground, very strong in the contest. Great penetrating kick there by Nigel Smart as Peter Everett is coming from the ground. Elliott gets his first run for the day. But promising young player is Ken McGregor from West Torrens in South Australia. Had a quiet day at this stage, but difficult position to ask to play at a young age, centre forward.
To get the lead back, and he's done it.
Spring's around the corner. Find out what you should be planting now.
Look a little bit sparse at the moment.
And in just 10 weeks.
You'll be rewarded with a stunning display.
Plus an upside-down pudding with a taste to die for. Tuesday on Better Homes and Gardens. Then, explore the backtracks of the Kimberley.
Riding through the ranges, sleeping under the stars.
And experience the beauty of New Zealand's fjords.
Some people like their scenery picture postcard, but I like my wilderness wild.
The great outdoors, Tuesday.
So Ken McGregor, game number 5, goal number 5. So he's kicked one in each of his games. As Ben Hart comes off under the blood rule.
Yeah,
Rod Jamison, the player going on.
Nothing serious, Terry, just a minor patch-up job.
So he shan't be off for too long. It is nearly half-time. We're 25 minutes into this second quarter.
A few band-aids have been needed, though.
There has. Some superficial cuts. Peter Everett sitting, looking on. He sees his side trailing by 3 points now. Big Herbert takes advantage of Everett's absence, gets well up in the air. McLeod with Bickley. The Crows very good out of the centre bounce. Johnson goes long, but there's Darryl Wakeland. In defence to Young. The runner for St Kilda from half-back. Comes on out wide towards Thompson. Ben Thompson it is. His left foot kick, low leads, low marks. Very good. All of it probably down low. Up he gets. Now there's a crowded forward line for the Saints. Decides to go wide. Smart camps underneath it. Elliott does well to slap it away. Smart up to the task at ground level. Andrew Thompson couldn't find it. Harvey can. Steps around. Taken very well by Johnson in the tackle. Releases McLeod through the centre of the ground. Benke takes the mark. Crows much more direct into their forward line. Here's the run. Burton's got it.
And Terry, this is when they're most dangerous, when they do break from half-back.
And they've got targets everywhere in the forward line just at the moment.
It's been interesting watching the two sides actually go into their forward area. Jamison, as he took a very good contested mark once again, had a little bit of pressure from two St Kilda opponents. Here it is here, the marking contest. Wakeland just couldn't get there. But in actual fact, if Jamison kicks this goal, 7 of the 8 goals that will be scored are all been from marks inside their forward 50.
Normally a reliable kick.
And curls, he has let you down, mate.
I'll retract that.
Hopeless kick. Crows by 4 points. Grimace on the face of St Kilda first-year coach Tim Watson. Of course, Tim was working for Channel 7 when St Kilda played the Crows 2 years ago in the grand final. So he's got no revenge to seek out of this game, but I'm sure a few of the players have. After the Crows won by 31 points after trailing at half-time.
Hart ready again.
Kick by Francis to Wakeland. In he comes to Zilla. He's got Nathan Burke, but doesn't want him. Zilla goes for distance. Lowe! Magnificent mark! He is back in town today, Stewie Lowe.
Yeah, he had his name written all over that. Jumped early, got a little bit of a ride in the marking contest, but those familiar big mitts across that ball, he made sure it was his and his only. Look at that, jumped early, eyes on it, vice-like grip, and brought it to ground. Great mark.
And Mickey, is always going to be a danger with the lack of height in the Crows team today.
Yeah, certainly good call, Curls.
Well, he's already taken 8 marks today, and in this 7-week slump that Saints have gone through, he's averaged only 5 a game. In that 7 weeks, they lost 5 of them. So his form was down and the team's was down. Today, he's back in town.
And his normal player, Pittman, of course, is unavailable.
So the Saints trailing by 4 points. Stewie Lowe to put them back in front. It's away to the right. He's missed it. Missed a golden opportunity. Well, the mark deserved a goal.
Yeah, well, 6 of his kicks this quarter have come from 5 of the marks that he's taken. But that is a terrific contested mark in front of goal. But unfortunately, Stewie Lowe's kicking at times can let himself down and also the team down.
So from the resultant behind, the ball ends up with James. Gives it off to Johnson. So James in his 100th to Johnson in his 50th. Bickley, Jarman, Johnson on the overlap. Excellent kick out wide. Benke takes the mark. Falls when he needed to keep his feet because there was crows flying everywhere. Turns around now into the forward line. McGregor does well ground level. Just smart right on the siren. The kick missed. The score won't count. But the Crows finish the quarter full of running into their forward line. Whereas on the other hand, St Kilda have tended to be stagnant out of defence. Haven't generated that run they want yet. And they find themselves trailing by 3 points. Big question mark on St Kilda is their third quarter, where over the last couple of months they've gone missing in that quarter. Going in today's game, they'd only kicked 48 goals in the third quarter compared to 74 by their opponents. So it's a big half-time break for Tim Watson.
And a happy position for the Crows to be leading at half-time by 3, 7-4 to 6-7.
Good afternoon. In the news tonight, could there finally be a cure for cancer? After all the breakthroughs of the past, researchers at the QEH now believe they've made the ultimate breakthrough. We'll have all the sensational details at 6. Also tonight, police launch a major campaign against Adelaide massage parlours, and a shocking air crash overseas as 2 helicopters clip each other. One of them goes into a wild spin before catching fire and crashing to the ground.
You can get it dipping. You can get it chipping. You can get it having a row. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Victoria Bitter. You can get it lumping. You can get it thumping. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
If you want to move anything, anywhere, we've got just the rental truck for your needs. In fact, we've got Australia's biggest range. Budget drives your dollar further.
Take a drive through the eastern suburbs and keep going. Test drive Spring Hill, arguably Adelaide's most prestigious land release. Spring Hill Golden Grove, more livable than the eastern suburbs and far more affordable.
Which restaurant has won the American Express Awards 9 years in a row, including Best Restaurant in South Australia 98? Which restaurant has won the AHA's Excellence Award 5 years running? Which South Australian restaurant has won 3 Australian Golden Plate Awards? And which restaurant has taken out Restaurant and Catering's Best Restaurant in South Australia? The Oxford, North Adelaide. Join us in celebrating 10 years of service.
Okay, Mob, next time you're in the news agency, check out our new magazine. Presented by the Great Outdoors team, it'll take you around the world and show you over 90 of the best destinations. Action experiences to up-close encounters. You'll love Ireland. Europe will definitely reward you. Egypt will absolutely amaze you. There's a whole section of family-friendly destinations that'll take a lifetime to do.
What do you call a place positioned so perfectly, so privately, that it almost defies description? We've called it the Sanctuary, Spring Hill. Discover our new land release, Spring Hill's finest.
No one can match Pizza Hut's quality, but Pizza Hut will now match any competitor's coupons or TV deals. Enjoy a quality Pizza Hut pizza instead.
131166. Pizza Hut.
Want to see the Pure Milk 36ers play in Milan? Just watch Channel 7's All Saints, 8:30 on Tuesday nights, and collect tokens from specially marked Pure Milk packs to win a family trip. See the Pure Milk 36ers take on the world.
Incredible to think that this ground opened in 1970 and less than 30 years later it will close as an AFL venue at the end of this season. That shot coming from the Goodyear blimp, and there we are high in the sky against a grey leaden sky over Waverley, where it is half-time here today, and St Kilda and Adelaide, and the Crows will be really happy with their performance. They've won just 3 of their last 11 games, but they lead the Saints by 3 points at half-time, 7-4-46 to 6-7-43. And the leading goal scorers are Nigel Smart and Brett Burton for the Crows, who have 2 goals each, and Barry Hall has 2 for the Saints. Well, the other game being played today is Melbourne and Geelong at the MCG. But the great focus there today was the farewell to former captain of Melbourne, Gary Lyon, whom a fortnight ago announced his retirement from football. He didn't even go and watch the Demons play last week, but today they honoured him. Farewell to a legend as he took his children through the banner at the start of the game. Well done, Gary Lyon. He's given me some great moments in my broadcasting career. Well, what about the game between Melbourne and Geelong? Both have been disappointing this season. Let's take a look at the highlights of the first half.
Woden, this way, that way, that's not bad. Pass is absolutely spot on to Schwartz. For his 173rd career goal, and he's got it. Rushing the tackle well for Melbourne was Bishop, goes in forward, gets it inside the centre square. Mansfield, Arnott, inside 50, blazes away at goal. The Cats need one, and he's given them one. Bench in front. Can't complete it. Stoner, 3 seconds. Snaps. Oh, not bad. Great goal. They had the first 3 goals of the game, but the Cats fought back well. Leon Shelley smothered by Pickering. Now Steinford takes the hand pass for Geelong. Steinford looking for Barry Stoneham. Ingerson wearing him pretty closely. Stoneham goes away from goal. That's well done. It's a tricky angle. He's about 48 metres out. It's coming around, coming back. Looks good. It's a goal. Burns hand pass. Steinford. Pickering. Riccardi onto the left. Long kick. And through.
Melbourne kicked the first 3 goals, so it's been a 27-point turnaround. Farmer started on the bench, came on that first quarter and kicked a goal. Chisholm also a bench player. Runs the 45, unloads a big bomb.
Harley's kick up towards half-forward. Gee, Stoneham. This is vintage Stoneham today. On to Arnott. We're turning the clock back a few years for Big Barry this afternoon. Burns rolls it beautifully into the goal. Bang, and kicks another one.
Well, some of our viewers, especially you in Adelaide, will be seeing a replay of that game after this. So if you don't wish to know the halftime score, look away now. Well, St Kilda's coach today is Tim Watson. In his first season, I'm sure he'll be revving up the boys here at halftime because they trail at halftime. In the previous few years, of course, he was with us in the Channel 7 commentary box. But before that, Tim Watson was an absolute Essendon legend. He played over 300 games and played in 3 premiership sides under Kevin Sheedy with the Bombers. Tim Watson, he was great in his Essendon days, and during those years, he produced us with some absolutely fantastic highlights. And Tim Watson, the player in Essendon colours, is the subject of today's Mitsubishi moment. Watson, who earlier had a defensive role on Ablett, puts the Bombers in front.
When Essendon travelled to Geelong in 1990, they faced the awesome sight of Gary Ablett in full flight.
Measures it and kicks his fifth.
He bagged 8 goals and put the Cats in line for an upset win.
Wide for Ablett. Oh! Well played, Ablett.
With seconds left on the clock, Essendon trailed by 4 points. Tim Watson made his mark.
Watson!
Jimmy Watson! The champ has come up with the goods.
I just found myself in one of those situations where Darren Buick kicked the ball and I was sort of one out with a player and I took a mark and kicked the goal and it was a winning goal, and it was actually the first time I've ever done that.
Watson, who earlier had a defensive goal on Adelaide, puts the Bombers in front.
Tim Watson, another Mitsubishi memorable moment.
And I'd forgotten that I was the commentator that day down at Cardinia Park. The only time that Tim Watson kicked the winning goal. Well done, Tim, and I hope you're coaching well at the moment in the rooms for the Saints.
Here's a family who wants to enhance their outdoor living area and add value to their home with a new deck and garden. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist.
40-tooth blade, the more teeth on the blade, the finer the cut. So the tooth.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
Oh,
what's here?
But they've got one eye on the world, you see. For the latest information and communication, they're your local blokes from CRT.
Nobody knows more about the world of farming than CRT. So for the best products and advice, just ask your local bloke.
They're your local blokes from CRT.
The NBL back-to-back champions, the Adelaide Pure Milk 36ers, go international when they play in the prestigious World McDonald's Championship in Milan, Italy. You can join the team in a fully escorted 10-day tour, including tickets to all the games, airfare and accommodation for only $2,495. 2 departs Sunday the 9th of October. Be a part of this history-making 36ers trip when they take on the NBA champions, the San Antonio Spurs, and championship teams from the EuroLeague, Italy, South America and Asia. Call Champion Travel for more details.
Do you know what day it is?
Today?
And what year?
1999.
You did say 1999.
Yep, 1999 or 22 a week. And you get internet and a scanner and a printer and stacks of software. Where? Port Adelaide, Melrose Park.
Hot water gone cold? Need your water heater repaired or replaced? Call the 24-hour hot water helpline on 13 19 23.
I don't mean to upset those burger boys, but I'm about to do it again. Because my Zinger whole fillet burger now comes with bacon and cheese. The bacon and cheese Zinger whole fillet burger. I know, enough teasing those burger boys.
Sunday, a wicked comedy premiere of Cold Drinks, Barbies, A Wedding and a Siege.
We're coming in to get you, Wall. I've got a woman and a baby in here.
To the state, he was an outlaw.
He wants what? Helicopter, you know?
To the people, he was an inspiration.
We're going to be on TV.
To his wife, he was almost a hero.
Did you think it was going to be the best summer of our entire lives?
Colin Friels, Jackie McKenzie, A True Story, Mr. Reliable, Sunday, 8:30 on 7.
And high above Waverley is the Goodyear blimp, giving us these aerial pictures that we're getting during the day. And, well, even the league players look small from the blimp, but they're the little leaguers out there during the half-time break. And half-time in the big game sees the Adelaide Crows 3 points in front of St Kilda. And they've worked this breeze pretty well, and the Crows in that quarter kicked 2 goals 3. St Kilda with the breeze just 3 goals 3, and the Crows 7-4 to 6 goals 7. Mick, I reckon the Crows are going as well as I've seen them in the last couple of months.
Well, I think they're just playing direct footy, Drew. That's the difference between the two teams at this stage. They aren't musking about across half-back. They're getting the ball direct into their forward line. We have a look at some highlights in the first half. There's Burton, terrific young player. He never takes his eyes off the ball, attacks the ball in flight. More importantly, he backs his instincts. Francis, he's been a good player. He certainly negated the influence of Andrew McLeod. Aussie Jones, he was the player of the first half as far as I was concerned. Terrific first quarter, got free, had a couple of opponents, finished with Goodwin in that later stages of the second quarter, but kicked the first goal on his left side. Good centering kick on that occasion to Barry Hall, who took a very strong packed mark, but more importantly, went back and kicked a goal for the Saints.
Well, the Saints have had a lot of the ball inside their attacking 50, but haven't made the most of it, either into the breeze or with the breeze.
Yeah, they certainly have struggled. They've just mucked around across half-back too often. Here's a good running goal from Joe McLaren. Bounced it, balanced himself, good composure and poise, and kicked accurately for goal. Once again, Aussie Jones was in that build-up. Here's an example of you must give away the first option by Lucas Herbert. He decided to take on the tackler, good pressure from the St Kilda forwards. They dispossessed the ball. Hayes finished with it, and he kicked truly for goal.
Poor Lucas Herbert, his confidence would be shot. Let's have a look at the match statistics. And, well, most of it there leading towards the Saints, maybe more directness by the Crows.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. That's the reason why they're 3 points in front at half-time. They are playing a direct brand of football, whereas St Kilda are over-finessing, trying to be too cute with their disposal across half-back particularly. Centre breaks are going the Adelaide Crows' way. That's a credit to their midfield group in that part of the ground.
Interesting thing is that St Kilda in the third quarter recently have been absolutely shocking, and they trail by 3 points now, but they've lost the last 3 third quarters by a total of 69 points. So if they lose this one by about 23, they can't win the game.
Let's face it, though, realistically, the St Kilda team can't control what Adelaide are about to do, and that's the difference. They know that. Adelaide are trying to put as much pressure on the St Kilda team today. Last 3 weeks is irrespective. You can't do nothing with what's happened. We, as the media people, we can make assessment on that behalf.
And the Saints are playing for a spot in the 8, and the Crows virtually have to give up their spot, even though mathematics say they can still make it. Second half still ahead of us. We'll be back soon.
It's run-out time on Lancer Coupes from $18,490 with air. Lancer Sedans from $19,990, drive away with air. Lancer Wagons from $22,490, drive away with air. It's run-out time on Lancer. Look for the signs.
It is Mitsubishi.
Share in the new adventures of Winnie the Pooh on the Disney Channel with McDonald's Honey Pot Happy Meal. You can collect Pooh and his friends and build Pooh's honey pot to keep them in.
Okay, who's hungry? How about,
Oh, is it dinner time already?
Bank SA now makes it possible for you to buy a new home before you sell your existing home, because you won't have to start paying your new mortgage for 6 months. That's 6 months of amazing grace.
From one of the most soulful singers of our time comes a brilliant new album by our very own Renee Geyer, Sweet Life. All the critics agree this is Renee at her best.
Rolling Stone says this should re-establish Gayer at the forefront of our national pop consciousness.
Renee Geyer makes the comeback of the year with Sweet Life.
Good friends, great music, a fun atmosphere and friendly service. A tender hog's breath prime rib steak and our new Hog's Head Lager. And with the launch of our new menu, enjoy our steak and ale combo for only $19.95. Hog's Breath Cafe for food with attitude.
Cadbury are giving you the chance to win a travel voucher to the value of $3,400. Just select the mark you think is the best from Group 3. A. Brett Burton. B. Chris Grant. C. Chris Tarrant. D. Brett Burton. E. Brad Ottens. F. Saverio Rocca. Write your details and Group 3 selection on the back of an envelope. Enclose 2 Cadbury wrappers, then send your entry to this address. Good luck.
MobileNet is revolutionising mobile phone usage for business with unprecedented value on all mobile calls.
So now you can enjoy the benefits of some free calls on all new mobile plans. 25% off mobile net to mobile net call rates on all business plans. Flat rates across Australia, regardless of distance. And easy talk pay by the second billing. Together they represent significant savings and newfound freedom for your business. That's mobile net.
The next television event is on 7.
We're losing our brakes. We can catch it.
Speeding wildly out of control.
It's carrying a nuclear weapon.
Nothing can stop it.
Fire a missile at that train, we'll have a nuclear disaster.
Oh my God. No way to escape.
There's 1 million residents. Rush to evacuate.
Just hold your breath. The atomic train is heading for Adelaide.
And welcome back to Waverley with the half-time score. The Crows 7-4 lead St Kilda 6-7 by 3 points. Smart and Burton 2 goals and Hall 2 for the Saints. Well, Curls, rugged up against the Melbourne cool. Here he is.
I've joined the Melbourneites. I'll put an overcoat on.
Very wise.
Very cold down here, but from a game point of view, well, as we said, we'd wait till half-time. Well, there's definitely nothing much in it. Few players that both coaches will be looking for a lift from. One from the St Kilda point of view is Everett, who had a very poor second quarter, and as we all saw, taken from the ground. And, of course, Costa and Jarman from the Crows' point of view would have to lift. Costa in particular, I think maybe 3 or 4 possessions across the midfield, not good enough.
Start of the third quarter here at Waverley, and Herbert goes up against Everett. Everett palms it down beautifully. St Kilda straight into attack. Hall, he pushed and gave away a free kick to Bassett.
Yeah, and Campbell's just come on to his first run today. He was the player that got that ball forward. Very good centre bounce player. So you'll see him get a lot of the footy from that part of the ground.
Gee, Burton's a good player. He doesn't wait for the ball. He goes and meets it. Good mark. Into midfield. Bickley pops up a hand pass. Jarman working up to midfield. McLeod, slippery as an eel. Here goes Burton again. Oh, you're holding it. He tried to beat the paddock. And that's one of the few spectacular things he's done this year that have come unstuck.
And I tell you what, Mick, when you make a change as a coach and you get an instant response like Brad Campbell here, centre bounce, now laid a strong tackle, that's a good outcome.
Yeah, he got that kick out of the middle and now the tackle, and that's all in the first minute.
So he works with Burke now. He goes to half forward. Here's Hall a long way out. Bassett right there with him in front. Hall comes back a second and dives on the ball. They're all asking the question. Out, spins on out, and eventually over the line through the legs of Austin Jones. Jones with 14 first half disposals and some great running. Picked up a goal.
It's good work by Barry Hall. Head in the hole. Didn't worry about the consequences. Made sure he got first hands on the footy. Good play.
Low in front spot, takes it away, but Hart right there with him, so they can't clear it. They all dive in on it again, and it'll be bounced. Robbie Harvey, the last man up. Back into the side. He's missed 4 of the last 5 games, and in that time, the Saints have lost 3 of those 4. Thompson from low, across the body. Wakeland in the forward line. He tries to rip down the top, and it's Risciuto in front, surely. And umpire Scotty McLaren sees it the same way.
And that was magnificent play. No doubt it's a set play of St Kilda's. As soon as the ball's in flight, Aussie Jones, the player that peels off the contest. Risciuto was aware of that on that occasion because in the first quarter, that's what Aussie Jones did and got the footy. But Risciuto was well aware of it. He peeled off his opponent in Harvey, dropped back into that hole to take a great mark.
Risciuto and Bassett, a couple of possessions each, and eventually Risciuto out to the near side. The bounce doesn't favour Smart, misses him completely, and it'll be thrown in.
And fellas, you were right, Drew. Stevens did get it off on that troublesome knee at the opening bounce, and he doesn't look like taking any further part in the game.
Well, that's a severe blow there to Malcolm Blighton aside.
Well, that's number 5, is it, for the season? Lost count.
That's correct.
That's unbelievable.
Tony Francis across the body, doesn't get it out. Risciuto again.
Playing a great game, this boy, Terry.
Playing well across half-back. He really returned to form last week. Had a heap of touches, over 30. And this man's in form. Burton.
That's a good kick.
Excellent kick into McLeod.
We saw far too many turnovers by both sides in the first half with poor kicking. Let's hope they can get it right.
So McLeod this time falls short of Benke, but he takes it on the bounce. Handball's back. Hart drifting further from goal. Comes in now towards centre-half forward. Doesn't find a mark. Here's Campbell with some strength. Just puts on out, finds low at half-back.
Yeah, Campbell playing just his third game for the season and doing particularly well at the start of his second half. Rob Harvey shows it to Rashudo. Rashudo gets a smother in. Overrun by Lowe, and then he's pushed. And a free kick to Stewie Lowe.
Someone's got to pick up Harvey, work for their teammate, because Rashudo's standing the mark. Good cover there by Ben Hart.
Comes in short to Aussie Jones. No addition to the score. And we've been playing a few minutes in this third quarter. Peckett near midfield. Goes for a bit of distance into the breeze. Hall caught behind. Bassett, well done. Well done, Fred. Smart. Kick by Smart. Wobbles straight to Aussie Jones. Worst bloke on the field to give it to. And Aussie coming up for his 16th disposal. Out short to Wakeland. He's kicked a half forward. Hall. Yeah, good lead. He's a mile from goal. One in short. Oh, smothered by Bassett, the man on the mark.
We're still seeing these poor kicks.
Yeah, we certainly are, Curls. You suggested the first half was full of turnovers. This stage, players just aren't balancing themselves to use the ball effectively. They're putting themselves under pressure by trying to move the ball too quickly, and they're not far away from the mark, as in that Hall situation.
Lowe couldn't complete the one-hander. Actually takes it all the way to the ground, holding it in one hand, and that is holding the ball, Stewie.
Your turnovers are Adelaide 13 and St Kilda 15 in a half a footy, and just over, far too many from two quality teams.
So Ben Hart, Stuart Lowe's opponent, takes the free kick, goes towards half forward. Andy Thompson couldn't take the mark in front. Edwards tripped on his way through. He's asked for 50 and he's got 50.
50
There's
metres.
a report, is there?
Yeah.
So Justin Peckett has his number taken there for a deliberate trip by foot. With that comes 50 metres. Umpire Andrew Coates is the man on the spot.
Here it is here, Wheels. You have a look at James. Good evasive ability. Peckett just stuck out his right leg. Didn't appear to be much in it, but the rules are there.
And also it could be the third Crow goal from a 50-metre.
Yep, good point, Curls. Two to Smart and one to Edwards.
So now that will be up to the AFL tribunal during the week to adjudicate on. Tyson Edwards has been very good throughout the day, particularly in close where he's hard. He, Costa and McLeod are the top three tacklers for the Crows. They're prepared to get in and have a go at it. Hasn't kicked one yet this afternoon. So that's the third goal to the Crows from 50-metre penalties.
On 7 Nightly News, it's the Crows' last attempt to resurrect their season and start a run for the finals. Chris Dittmar will be at Waverley for the St Kilda clash, and we'll bring you Blighty's view on the aftermath at 6 o'clock.
On Today Tonight, are doctors making you pay too much for pills?
You could save hundreds of dollars.
We compare brands and mail-order medicine.
Then you're getting a good product, why not?
Save 30% on the same drugs. 6:30 Monday.
Back in the middle, Everett beats Herbert. And once again, Campbell hit the ball at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but they haven't got the football now. Smart has it for the Crows. Back to centre half forward. Vardy caught underneath the ball. Wakeland. Darryl Wakeland. Well, off the side of the boot, went sideways and out of bounds at half back.
Knowing that Robert Harvey's missed a lot of footy over the last month, I just wonder whether it's time for Timmy Watson to make a decision on Nathan Burke. He's been good on Vardy in a defensive post and a back pocket, maybe to generate some more hardness in the midfield, to win the footy in that part of the ground. Maybe Burke could be the answer.
Saints free kick. Advantage goes to Francis. Tony Francis gallops across half-back. Good Shepherd allows him to go further. And now Darryl Wakeland just up short of centre wing. Hudgens runs from defence. Here's Max. Up towards half-forward. In short to Lowe. Oh, he should have marked it. Ben Hart said, thank you very much. Away to Stengline. Youngster from Western Australia in his first season. Short to Edwards. Edwards with a bit of distance to centre wing. Young, Matty Young gets in front and beats Jarman to the pill. Adelaide by 9 points.
Young and McLaren work at half-back. couple of little balks from Joey McLaren. All it did was put himself under more pressure, but the kick falls to Hudson. Now Peckett. He's got Everett out wide and kicks it to him. So Peter Everett down in the forward line. St Kilda badly needing goals. They get him close enough, often enough. Need to be able to convert it.
And Terry, while we're there, interchange for St Kilda. Hayes, Ryan, Elliott, Gowers.
Peter Everett has one goal. Kicked in the first quarter at this end. This one really just gets in for a behind, and that's all. A bad Mr. Spider. Hasn't kicked more than 2 goals this year, Spider, so he hasn't been the dominant player in the forward line that we've come to know.
It just appeared then that Stewie Lowe got mesmerised to where he was. It looked like he just left the ball, hoping that the ball would go through the goals.
Interchange for Adelaide, Stevens, Orman Allen, Jamison, Gallagher.
And the thing about those interchanges is that Malcolm Blight has used all 22 players, but Tim Watson hasn't used Ryan or Elliott. Herbert. Francis claiming he's holding it, and the umpire says no, I'll ball it up. Tony Francis with the look of a big man as he was holding Herbert down on the ground. I suppose in that situation St. Francis was a big man. Well, the knock comes to Rasciuto. He ran into trouble with Zilla. Play on. The hand pass to Costa. And this is Kim Costa's 3rd touch for the day. Quite incredible. Johnson to the 50. Too long for McGregor. Here's Burton, always dangerous. And Young, I think, will be pretty happy to get that ball over the boundary line.
And Drew going back to Kimmy Costa. It's not as if he doesn't work. He's a very hard-working player. Obviously not just running his way today.
So the Crows going with the breeze, which is going right to left in this 3rd quarter. They need to build up a pretty handy lead, you'd reckon, by 3-quarter time. But this has been St Kilda's bogey quarter for most of the season. Campbell's been in the thick of things this quarter. Hudson on all 4s. Shane Wakeland near the boundary line, met by McLeod. Oh, Wakeland scoops it up. The ball eventually out of bounds. The Crows claiming a free kick for any number of reasons, but nothing doing.
Tony Francis there. He knows the heat's on for St Kilda. The Saints sat 3rd on the ladder after round 10 with their win against Geelong down at Shell Stadium. Since then, they've only won twice against Richmond and Melbourne, and they've fallen to 7th. Their position in the 8 really under the pump. And Adelaide here, not to make it easy for the Saints at all. Wakeland to take the free kick. This is Shane Wakeland. Again, they switch the play across the half-back line. Everett, a little bit of space for the big man, takes a bounce, continues the path this near side. Darryl Wakeland slips. Rod Jamison judges it the better and takes the mark.
Indirect football once again, short to a 50-50 contest.
Jamison puts it in towards the centre corridor. That's where they want it. Here's Bickley charging through. Works with Herbert. He back to Smart. Smart off one step. Kicks to within 30 metres of goal. Young does the spoiling. Jones at ground level. Johnson's with him. Johnson pushing, shoving. Both of those qualities take Jones over the line, the push and the shove.
Looks like Herbert's coming from the ground. Orman Allen's coming back onto the ground.
He'll be the new ruckman.
Barty takes the ball, tries to get it on out. Johnson caught in the Thompson tackle.
Well, at least Herbert's fit, girls.
You blokes think I'm joking. He is going to Everett.
He certainly is. Obviously trying to play as an extra midfielder. But no doubt Everett will just push forward, mismatch in height.
He's got a huge leap, Orman Allen. He'll need one.
He'll need it. You need a staircase.
So Wakeland doing the ruck work for the Saints in defence. Bounces on out. Half forward, Rasciuto over the top of Harvey. They're looking for a free Costa, a good little push on out. The Crows win a free kick. Mitchell is hanging on to James.
50 metres again. That is just undisciplined play there by St Kilda.
And the supporters here for St Kilda are unhappy. But really, your call is the most accurate of all the expressions here at the moment, Mick. Undisciplined footy.
There's just no need for it. Like, the free kick was given. Hudson realised that the ball was certainly going to Brett James. continued to run and carry the footy away from Brett James when he should have released the ball. 50-metre penalty, maybe fourth goal because of that result. And it is.
If you've been thinking about escaping the hustle and bustle of the city, you'd better see the new Pajero Escape quick. Because with its powerful 3.5-litre V6, cruise control, alloy wheels, side steps, air conditioning, power windows and CD player, it's such great value that from only $40,990, everyone can afford to escape. It is Mitsubishi.
Gives the ball back. Well, this is right out of hand now. St Kilda conceding 4 goals from 50-metre penalties, and they trail by 14 points. Ormond Allen in the ruck against Everett. Everett clean possession. I'll tell you what, he'll know he's got an opponent, though. That bloke will leave a few bruises. Up towards 50. Hart left his opponent low to hit the ball running. Beautiful kick.
That's a much better matchup too on low, Hart.
Kane Johnson goes for a gallop. He's taken all the way to the 50. Well, not quite. Front of the pack, Bickley. The whistle's gone. And a St Kilda free kick at last. And listen to the crowd.
Yeah, over the shoulder here. There it is there. Good free kick. Certainly there.
They work it into the breeze. Peckett, who's been reported this quarter for a trip. Campbell's been good in this third quarter. Poor kick. Rasciuto. Oh, that's a great kick by Mark Rasciuto. And Johnson's getting on the end of some beautiful kicks out of defence.
And another long one.
To half forward. Bickley, the skipper, goes a half-distance pass. Well, this fella's kicked a couple and might get another one here.
And I think, Drew, that's typified today. St Kilda, with their short passing, have turned the footy over, whereas when the Adelaide Crows win the footy, particularly players like Rasciuto, very penetrating with their ball use and length of their kicking, they got the ball out of the danger zone, and Burton's got a shot on goal.
And Burton gets his third.
Here's a couple who bought a renovator's delight. While they're proud of the breakthrough they made,
Put in some French doors and then pave the courtyard.
not everybody shares their vision. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist.
Let's start with Accent. It's good value, it's their own brand, great range of colours.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
You can see it, can't you, darling?
Yeah, it'll come.
Burton's third goal has put the Saints under all sorts of pressure. St Kilda hit the front for the first time, 20-minute mark of the second quarter. But since then, Adelaide have kicked 4 unanswered goals. You'd expect to be looking at the side that are looking to maintain a spot in the final 8 to be putting up a better performance than this.
Okay, fellas, tell me, have you ever seen a smaller ruckman than Ormond Allen?
No, officially, he's got it.
Edwards out, but there's a free kick back where the contest was. Umpire Scott McLaren, an experienced umpire, he's nearing 100 games himself, gives it to Stewie Lowe.
We might just find out the value of a ruckman. Unless Everett can find teammates, their value might be nil.
Well, here's Everett in the forward line. It gets on down towards Jones. Cross the body. That's a great effort. The Crows getting back, though. The Adelaide defence have been very good today.
Yeah, Rasciuto, he's been very good across half-back. He's had 16 possessions, 13 and 3. Ben Hart's done his role on Stewie Lowe. Admittedly, Stewie Lowe's taken some good marks, but Hart's also been a rebounding defender.
And Burke's gone on the ball, boys.
So Costa, as Neil Curley said, just one of the few touches for Kim today, but he's backing up with a couple of back-to-backs here. Works with Edwards. It's a fine line out there for the Crows. They're trying to find their way through. They can't. They only find the boundary line, and it's a throw-in. James Gowan was the player for the Saints to wrap it all up with a good, strong tackle.
And at this stage, because Burke's gone back into the midfield, he certainly had to get to that part of the ground. McLaren's gone back to a back pocket. Maybe a player like Stephen Ziller should go pick up Vardy, because I think McLaren's run could be very valuable for St Kilda.
Ormond Allen does the ruck work and then wins the kick. Inside 50, here's Jarman, right on the 50, right on the boundary line. He goes towards the square, it bounces. It's a live one for them. Burton, he's kicked 3, gives it off to Goodwin. He's kicked 1, goes at it. It's another mark. It's McGregor.
Another one that should have been punched through for a behind.
The Saints defence.
Gee, that's good.
Holes everywhere.
Umpire has called it back. Time on was called. It's the reason why the footy's going back to McGregor. Young players have to think their way through this situation. Don't panic. Have a look. If there's nothing on inside, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to open up the angle and kick it across my body a la Darren Jarman?
Well, he's had a go at it.
But missed.
So the youngest man on the ground has a go, but misses that particular shot at goal. So let's have a look at it from up on high. He gets out far enough, but not the skills yet of D. Jarman quite.
I just think he didn't give himself enough time to get close to the goal for that hook, Terry. There's still too much space between the man on the mark and where he actually kicked it. When you do kick across your body like that, and you hook it a little bit, it does go very fine.
Darryl Wakeland clears the 50. Here's Everett. Now he needs to find a teammate. Gotcha. Nathan Burke. Burke's kicked a half forward in the direction of Hall. Crunch. Oh, well played. To Ben Thompson. Down to the forward line. A one-out contest. A bit of a juggle. Almost taken by Gowans. Rashudo. Edwards. Hart. And the Crows out of trouble. James.
Great football. Great defensive football.
Button! Oh, no! He had the Cadburys wrapped up. Off the ground he goes to half forward. Johnson. Very high towards the 50. And Jarman again, always dangerous. Oh, look at this. Look at this. He measures it. Oh, what a goal.
You can get it dipping. You can get it chipping. You can get it having a row. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Victoria Bitter. You can get it lumping. You can get it thumping. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
And the kick aimed at the left goalpost and just steered right through the middle. Absolute class.
And you'd have to say, boys, the Crows have a lot more method in their game than St Kilda at this stage.
There's certainly no doubt about that, Curls. They have more direction. They have a focal point in the forward line. They're prepared to go there. Here's the Saints. Ziller will put him into the half-forward line. The best chance. Hall pushing and shoving. Keeps his feet. Runs into low. They need to get it on the up. Does feed on out, but only into the path of Edwards. Tyson Edwards. McLeod. Quieter game today compared to last week when he had 26 touches against Crawford. Smart. Everett comes on in. Here's Burton. Great hands. The burst of McLeod. This is direct football. Into the centre corridor. Into centre half forward. McGregor over the top of Shane Wakeland. Matthew Young there to support for the Saints. Pirouette's out of trouble to Lenny Hayes. Back to Young. The forward handball. Always dangerous, but Hudson works it on back to McLaren. Another one. They need the kick. Here it is from Ziller. Hall's on out wide. They found him.
And there's the difference, getting the ball into the centre corridor. It's amazing when you do that, it gives your key forwards 3 options to lead. Left of the goal square, straight up the ground, or to the right of the goal square. 3-dimensional play is very hard to protect from the defender's point of view. That's what St Kilda have got to do more of.
So Hall has 2 goals straight. From right on the 50. He's missed it. St Kilda's woes in the third quarter continue. 22 and a half minutes in the third quarter, but here's Brett Burton. Look, up he goes again. And Drew, you've seen a lot of him.
Oh, he is just, I reckon he's got 8 out of the top 10 candidates for Mark of the Year. St Kilda's third quarter woes certainly continuing. The Crows have kicked 4-1 to 3 points in this third quarter.
Now, Terry, you've coached footy. Lowe is without doubt the most dangerous big man out there today at centre-half forward. Why take him out of there and put him in the ruck when you have Everett there?
I agree with you. You know, Stewie in close is their best chance.
Here's Jarman again in the goal square. He flogged Hudson a few minutes ago and he's just done it again.
Well, Mick McGuan let the adjective of freak slip out earlier on. It's not too far off the mark, is it? Just over such a long period of time in Australian rules football at the highest level, he's done it week after week.
And Jars has got 3.
Kathy Bates comes to 7 with a very chilling secret.
I have a confession. I've done all sorts of research on you, and frankly, I'm impressed.
She's Dick's #1 fan.
What do I get for the man who knows everything?
Cashmere underpants. But she's got a screw loose.
Go on, admit it. You're alien. Alien. Oh, that's funny.
How to make Dick's life misery. A spine-tingling special.
Stand back for the spaceman gets it.
Third Rock, Sunday on 7. Third Rock, Sunday on 7.
46 points, trails 77. The centre bounce from above. Everett in ruck. Orman Allen does very well again. A big leap. So all he has to do is make contact with the footy. Leave it to the ground level players to sort out from there. But the Saints take it through Hayes into half forward. Here's clean work at ground level as Andy McLeod on out towards Smart.
Mr. Electric Lux at ground level.
Orman Allen.
Yeah, good change of direction just to make Everett accountable, because Everett was pushing forward to block the hole. Orman Allen dragged him out of that area. Good change of direction there by Nigel Smart. Going back to the same spot.
Mick, there would be the instruction to give it to Orman Allen on every opportunity to ensure that Everett is committed to him.
Yep.
Here's James, his 100th game of AFL footy. Young at the front, takes the mark, good couple of grabs at it from the front position, plays on quickly to Burt. They go across the ground now. Gowans at half-back for the Saints.
Everett this time. Gallagher standing the mark. Everett hasn't seen anybody today who's half his size. In he comes to Hodgson, who must be shot after the last 4 or 5 minutes against Jarman. To Burt. Thompson. And now Young. Kicked by Young. Hall. Saints still looking for their first goal this quarter. A fumble by Barry. And I don't know what happens to St Kilda in the third quarter, but somebody's given them the hex over the last month.
Well, Stewie Lowe's actually telling his players further afield, get the ball back in that grid. From point post to the centre square line on both sides of the ground. That's where you've got to win the footy if you're going to kick goals. You're not going to kick goals from where Barry Hall was about to receive the footy from. Low percentage, very difficult shot on goal. You're better off getting the ball back into that central part of the ground where Lowe or Hall can compete.
Interesting change for St Kilda. Elliott on, tall man. Francis off, small man.
Lowe wins in ruck, got the ball back out of bounds. Well, it's not as though this is a gale curls from right to left. In fact, I think the breeze might have died off a bit, hasn't it?
I think it has dropped away just a tad, but there's still a little bit going to the left end.
Well, you certainly can score into it. St Kilda scored 3 in the first quarter, and the Crows scored 2 in the second. So if the Saints go goalless in this quarter, it'll be their fault, not the wind's fault. Smart spoils low. Andrew Thompson, gone out of it a bit. Back to Campbell, a centering ball, chance for Hall. Whoa, about 8 of them went for it. Zilla pulled off his hand pass. Here's the ruck from Orman Allen. Took a bit of a knock from Lowe, but he gets it back to Hart. And they're too smart, the Crows. Experience. David Gallagher runs away and clears the 50. It's a 31-point lead to the Crows.
This boy has played well since he's come on, Johnson.
Johnson has made a difference. Gallagher hasn't been too bad either, Curl. So the interchange bench has worked well for the Crows.
Yep.
And his kick, Gallagher's kick, finds Burton.
Well, you wouldn't know if St Kilda's interchange is working because he hasn't used most of it.
Johnson, Jarman, deftly to the right, then to the left, into the forward line. Vardy keeps his feet. Shane Wakeland off the ground. Works with Peckett. Wakeland providing the shepherd. Peckett goes to the outer side to Young again. He's getting a fair bit of it. That's the 17 disposals to Matthew Young. It's an accurate one. Thompson running on to 50. They need to make something of this. Behind is Low. Did he touch it? It goes over the back. Let's hope he didn't. He hasn't.
Ben Hart's not happy.
I think Ben will call for a fingerprint dust on the ball.
Yeah.
He claims that Stewie's Low may well be on it.
Yeah, good play there by Thompson. Really attacked the cold face of the goal square. Backed his instincts, kicked the ball low and flat. Low certainly didn't touch that ball. Benny Hart certainly thought he did. but that's the goal that St Kilda needed to get, because Adelaide previously had kicked the previous 6 goals of the game.
Back in the centre, and just in time a goal for the Saints. Less than a minute to three-quarter time. Burke out of the middle. Oh, good effort by Rashudo, and then pushed in the back, and he'll take a free kick.
St Kilda's last goal before that was at the 21st minute mark of the second quarter, the one by Lenny Hayes.
James goes wide. Oh, McLeod, brilliant play. Then goes off the ground. He's following up. He might get it back again. But Young leaves his opponent to dash up the ground for the Saints. Another one will be handy for the home side. Campbell waited for it. The Crows haven't waited all day. James spoiled. Down to Bickley. Back to James eventually. Little kick in. Oh, shocker. Wakeland takes the mark to Hudson. 12 seconds remaining in the term. Oh, Hudson's given it away to Benke. Maxie Hudson has been in the Bermuda Triangle this quarter. Short pass, and McGregor has it. Big boy, big lump of a lad. Siren. He'll need to kick a 55-metre drop punt after the siren.
I'll tell you now, he will get the distance. Huge kick, this boy.
Yep, I like his chances.
And Drew, just as he's lining up for goal, I think one pertinent part of the game today is the Adelaide's defence. They've rebounded 28 times from that part of the ground from St Kilda's 37 entries.
McGregor gets the distance, but hooked it and kicked the behind. So he's kicked 1 goal, 2. But boy, that is a handy break to the Adelaide Crows. And St Kilda's season and position in the 8 is going to be on the line in the last half hour here at Waverley. Hudson, he had 2 goals kicked on him by Jarman, then gave it up to McGregor. But look at this, at three-quarter time, 78 to 52.
Hurry to McDonald's for your last chance at Match and Win Monopoly. You can still win Honda HRVs, holidays to Disneyland, flying Air New Zealand, and cash from Aussie Home Loan. Taxi! Hotel on Mayfair, thanks.
It's been totally re-engineered and redesigned with more safety features and more luxury than ever before. And now it's available with a PowerTech V8 engine and the unique Quadra Drive 4-wheel drive system. Introducing the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most capable Jeep ever.
You'll always find the right part for your car at AutoPro.
I have cooked in many kitchens over the years, and without doubt, Albertson kitchens are among the very best. Stunning designs, magnificent workmanship, and incredible attention to detail, all in superb finishes. The finest timbers, laminates, granite, and stainless steel. Call Albertson. They'll come to your home and completely design your dream kitchen at a price you'd want to pay. Albertson and Sam, they are my first choice in kitchens. They're fantastic.
Shania Twain is Australia's biggest selling female artist of the year. And this is her #1 selling album, Come On Over.
Let's go, girls. And this is Shania like you've never seen her before. With the smash hit fourth single. I feel like a woman. It just keeps getting better. Shania Twain's Come On Over. Grab your copy now.
See every leather lounge you ever wanted at the lowest price, or it's free at Discount Lounge Centre. The leather experts. Comfort, style, the colours, true luxury. And with our prices, with 18 months interest free, at last it can happen. Discount Lounge Centre, Ranella, Parafield and Keswick.
The Volvo V40. For safety. For $39,950. Volvo for life.
Cadbury are giving you the chance to win a travel voucher to the value of $3,400. Just select the mark you think is the best from Group 3. A. Brett Burton. B. Chris Grant. C. Chris Tarrant. D. Brett Burton. E. Brad Ottens. F. Saverio Rocker. Write your details and Group 3 selection on the back of an envelope. Enclose 2 Cadbury wrappers, then send your entry to this address. Good luck.
They are everyday people walking away with thousands of dollars in cash. Australia's richest quiz is back.
Seven's $1 million chance of a lifetime.
And the chance at your dream could be just a phone call away.
The aim is to send somebody out of here with $1 million in cash.
So call now to register for your $1 million chance of a lifetime.
This is Australia's richest television quiz.
Monday, 7:30 on 7.
Not a bad football venue, but it will cease as a football venue at the end of this season. At three-quarter time, the Crows lead by 26 points, 12-6 to 7 goals 10. And the Saints once again in heaps of bother after an inept third quarter. Aerial shots coming to us from the Goodyear blimp. Now we'll take a shot of the ladder as it stands coming into this round and show you how important this is for St Kilda, because just around them are Sydney and Carlton. The Swans play Essendon tonight in Sydney, and Carlton play the Bulldogs tomorrow. And if Sydney and Carlton both win and St Kilda can't win here, the Saints will go out of the 8 after being at one stage third earlier in the season. So the three-quarter time address here for Tim Watson is just about this all the season or nothing for the Saints. It's incredible the slump they've had. They've lost 5 out of their last 7 and maybe heading for another defeat here.
So the big question here is Stewie Lowe. Drew, late in the quarter there, he puts his hands up here as the ball comes in from Thompson. And the question is whether he touched it or not. I think the way he pulled the hand down there, you might suspect he may have. And Ben Hart, he certainly had an opinion and carried it on with the umpire a little bit. But the goal for Thompson did stand.
I think from that there is little doubt that Stewie touched that one. Down on boundary level, curls.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. Well, we have a situation here that's very similar to 3 weeks ago from the Crows' point of view. 26 points up at this stage. They were 40 points up at this stage against the Bulldogs and got beaten. Now the big question is, do the Crows have to score a goal to win the footy match? Now, I think they would. Maybe 1 or 2 goals would make it an absolute certainty for the Crows, which would be a very, very good win.
Yeah, great summary of the situation, Curls.
And Drew, Everett starting at full forward, Hall and Stuart Lowe are basically playing across centre forward. Tim Elliott's gone into the ruck for St Kilda. 3 talls might make it a congested area for their forward line. A little bit concerned with that setup.
And Ormond Allen, the shortest ruckman in league football ever, has won the centre hit out. And the Crows go forward. They're at the 50 already, and the ball being blocked up in the attacking 50. Trent Ormond Allen, and he just went over the top of Elliott and won it.
It's just one of them. Malcolm Blood, he pulled Mark Stevens first up. That was to be the ploy. He stuck with the ploy by going with another unheralded ruckman, Ormond Allen. As you said, Drew, he's been very good in there.
Good tackle on Peckett, but he had no chance of getting rid of the ball. The umpire will ball it up.
One thing about Ormond Allen, his attack on the ball could never be questioned. He does attack it ferociously, so he doesn't care about whether he gets hurt or not. Is a jumping player. Probably a surprise by many, but obviously a good tactic by Blighty.
And I think often his opponent worries about whether he's going to get hurt or not, because a few of them playing on this young number 21 have been hurt.
And also, Drew, to follow up what you said before, that the breeze has died right down in the Crows' favour.
And the Seagulls have arrived here at Waverley almost like vultures circling above St Kilda.
So here's Tim Elliott to take on the ruck work in the centre bounce. Zilla trying to barge through. You don't get past Prosciutto. Uses his hands to find Harvey. Campbell off the interchange bench at half-time and was very good in that third quarter. Into the path of Thompson, courageously at the ball. Spills away. Jones. Saints need something. Hall can't take it. All the big men are down there, but the Crows have numbers at ground level. Bassett and Smart work together. Takes a bounce to carry it out of the defensive 50. Kicks onto the outer side. Benke there with Darryl Wakeland. Darryl Wakeland does well to turn the ball back inside. McLaren and Burke. Nathan Burke. High, low, in front. Spoilt by Bassett. Thompson cleans up. Back inside. Here's Everett. Here's their best goal-scoring chance.
Did I see James on Everett in the pocket?
Yeah, well, you just did, merely because his opponent is Smart, Curls, and Smart was the player that actually tried to rebound that footy. James was in the area. He tried to cover, but it's not a direct matchup.
Big Peter Everett, eyes darting. Well, much preferring to make the decision to kick the goal himself. 4 goals in the last quarter from Peter Everett would be just what the Saints need. Has he got the first of them? That face says it all. He was good in the last quarter last week. He kicked 3 goals from that position to get the St Kilda side up and over Melbourne. The Saints have only come back from behind to win after trailing 3/4 time twice this year. Their best was against the win against Geelong when they were 19 down. Today they've got to do it from 26. It's a big ask. Jones is fighting as if he can do it. Hall out at half forward. Gallagher intercepts. Looks to turn it back for the Crows, and the next one kick into the forward line is a little bit of space for them. Johnson gathers it. The run from behind. Goodwin, Costa, charging through the centre, directly in towards full forward, pushing, shoving. Wakeland spoils. Ground level, good tackling, holds it up. Here's Jamison. Handballs back inside excellently. Bickley, the skipper, stands from one step up high in the square. Young's there, takes it and runs away.
Matthew Young slipped. You don't want to do that back there. McLaren. Good run by Costa to put McLaren off his kick, and it paid dividends. Edwards the mark.
Their short game today has got them into more trouble than what it's worth. They've just got to learn to come out of defence and play a better, direct brand of footy. Turn it over by foot, just short. It's costly turnovers.
Oh, yeah. Even though Costa hasn't had much leather today, that's just part of the team game that he's playing. He contributed to this shot at goal for the Crows with a great chase.
And boys, an interesting turn out here. We have now Orman and Allen playing in the back pocket on Everett and Smart on the ball.
Jarman for his 4th. Just offline and through for a minor score. So if they need 1 goal in this last quarter to make them safe, they still haven't got it yet. Tim Watson, who earlier on must have thought, well, this is okay. During the season, the Saints have beaten Essendon, the Dogs, the Eagles. They lost to the Kangaroos by just 2 points. They look final certainties. Now no longer.
This is one of the reasons they've struggled of late. Robert Harvey's absence. He's back in there today. Breaking up possessions, that's 19 disposals. Burke and Peckett, they've done that often, just bringing it across the ground, directly across. But they need to be aggressive with this final receive and take the game on down through the guts.
Centre corridor footy.
So Darryl Wakeland gives it to Ziller in that spot. Goes directly in. Hall's outnumbered. Spoiled away by Bassett. Stewie Lowe has to do it at ground level. Costa does very well for Shepherd, allowing Johnson to clean it up. Works with Smart. Under pressure. Kick off the side of the boot. Crows leading in the race. Saints coming at it. Lenny Hayes does very well. Turns straight into Smart. He's going nowhere. The ball's going to be bounced.
Yeah, and Hayes is the player who probably sensed the urgency of the moment. And that's what they need. More leaders with the attack on the footy. At the moment, Adelaide is certainly leading in that department. Burke, Thompson, Francis, Harvey, Everett, Lowe, the leaders of this group have really got to stand up in the last 14 or 15 minutes of footy.
Whistle.
And what we've seen also, the mid-sized players of the Crows have been far more effective than the St Kilda boys.
And Aussie Jones had 10 possessions in the first quarter, and he's now had just 18. So he's gone right out of it.
Much the good work of Goodwin. He stabilised that position. Very disciplined player is Goodwin.
Oh, Ziller didn't even get a touch. Burke to Harvey. His kick towards the 50. It's there for the Saints. Taken away by Rashudo. He's a muscle man. Away to Bickley. Oh, great kick by Bickley to Hart. Beautiful use of space by Ben Hart as well, but he wasn't let down by his teammate. Perfect disposal. 26-point lead still to the Crows. It was 26 at 3/4 time. Just a point each in this last term so far.
And Johnson starting to accumulate a lot of the footy. Started the first quarter basically on the interchange bench, but since then he's had 22 possessions.
Yep, terrific game. But ball spills out St Kilda's way. Peckett, Bickley's got him. The umpire comes in and will ball it up. Well, if the Crows just spoil and smother and tackle and knock the ball over the boundary line, use up time, they'll win. And as Curls reckons, maybe just 1 goal for the Crows will clinch it for them.
Smart. His kick smothered by Burke. Johnson, who has had a fair bit of the footy, to Bickley, to Tyson Edwards. He runs on in. That could be it.
It's run-out time on Lancer Coupes from $18,490 with air. Cool Mirage from $14,990. Lancer Sedans from $19,990. Drive away with air. It's run-out time on Lancer and Mirage. Look for the signs.
Boy, coaching was easy about 2 months ago for Tim Watson. Well, Ormond Allen even looks tall from up there.
True, it just has a similar ring to last year, doesn't it? The way they've capitulated away in the second half of the season, the Saints.
Sure does. Burke. Crows have been good in defence. James, your handball. He is one of the best handball. He give a bloke a rap. He's one of the best in the competition. He misses Rashudo there by about 5 metres. Kick smothered. Johnson. Hayes dives at it. And Kane Johnson started on the bench and he's up to 23 possessions, and would you believe he's taken 11 marks?
Couple of good defensive acts, one by Thompson to smother, and also I like the attack on the footy there by Hayes. His last 2 attacks on the ball have been full of merit.
Well, the Saints need 6 goals to 0 to win the game from here. Harvey from near the boundary line, up and down the mine shaft. It's not a mark, it hasn't gone 10. Oh, did he pay it?
He's paid it.
Oh, it went about 4 metres.
50 metres too against Ormond Allen, and rightfully so. St Kilda's first for the day. They've been fairly disciplined, the Adelaide Crows, but Stewie Lowe gets his opportunity.
Now, he has paid this mark, has he? Harvey is inside the 50 when he kicked that, and look at where Lowe takes the mark. That's gone about 4 metres.
So what was that 50 for? Questioning the umpire, was it?
Actually tapping the ball out of the hand.
Okay.
Goal to Lowe.
He's first.
But that is not a mark, Nick. Has he paid that mark?
Yeah, he certainly did. He paid the mark.
Oh.
Rashudo still discussing with the umpire as to why the 50 metres was given. We'll have a look at the Goodyear blimp replay. There's the kick inside the 50, straight in the air, gone about 4 to 5 metres. Paid the mark. Here's Ormond Allen throwing him ground.
There's Harvey in the forward.
Basically throwing to ground either against Ormond Allen or Rashudo.
Well, the Crows can't argue about the 50-metre penalties. They've scored, what, 3 or 4 goals to them?
4 goals, Curls.
No, but the decision on the mark is nearly the worst decision this season.
Distance versus displacement.
Well, it went 50 metres, no worries. 25 up and 25 down.
Everett does take the ball out of the ruck, but the Crows just swamp him at ground level. They've taken it away again. They've been very good in there today. They've charged at it here now through Costa. McLaren from half back, under a little pressure, can't get to Harvey. Edwards has been very good. Quick hands with Jarman. Eventually back to Johnson. He's enjoying his 50th game. Edwards does the smothering. The Crows have got all the answers just at the moment.
And also, Terry, when you look at the big man strength, you know, in favour of St Kilda, it's a great effort by the Crows.
When you look at their playing list, there were 12 players unavailable for selection for the Adelaide Crows this week. They've got 6 players out there playing in their first year. Malcolm Blight is actually overseeing the transition from double premierships over the last 2 years into putting the club into a position to be able to win another one within the next 2 years. There's no doubt about that at all. And there perhaps is his replacement sitting there with him, Darryl Hart. James, forward handball, Rashudo, Johnson, Goodwin, numbers around the football. Handball execution, excellent, ends up with Binky on the outer side.
Here's the Roxinger, just forward of centre wing. Inside the 50, Burton actually underneath the ball, so it must have been pretty high for him to be underneath. Shane Wakelin away. McLaren, Andrew Thompson. McLaren will get it back from Harvey. Good running, Joe McLaren. He's kicked a full forward. Well, actually, Bassett's been really good back in defence. Benke again. Oh, look at the space here for Andy McLeod. He can touch up from there. Jarman. Well, if you've got McLeod and Jarman combining, you're in trouble.
Yeah, wonderful transition of play once again by the Adelaide Crows. Here's McLeod from the Goodyear blimp shot once again. Well-weighted kick to the advantage of his teammate in Darren Jarman. Probably a difficult shot from goal or for goal for any player, but we know Jarman's capabilities. It wouldn't surprise anybody here at Waverley Park today to see him actually kick this goal.
This for number 4. Nope. Away to the right. And a behind. So he's kicked 3 goals, 2. He was scoreless last week, but prior to that he kicked 27 goals in 5 matches, including 9 straight against Melbourne.
So there's no doubting his abilities.
Well, I think the Crow boys have got long memories of that last fade out against Western Bulldogs. They're working very hard.
Johnson's one of the hardest workers of the lot. Here's McLeod. Jarman just doing enough in the back of the contest. In control in the forward line, and here's Andy McLeod. Still upset with that miss at goal is Jarman, but as Drew Morford said, when you have McLeod and Jarman on fire in the forward line, goals are going to come.
Need a bit of luck.
And it's interesting to see McLeod now. He's basically not playing on Tony Francis. Tony Francis has been removed from the ground. Francis, I believe, done a fairly good job, except for McLeod got away for about 5-minute period in that third quarter.
McLeod gets his first.
Well, I always thought that you had to take your new car back to the dealer to get it serviced. But this friend of mine said that she gets hers serviced at UltraTune. They use all of the right parts and the price is fixed. Hey, they sound pretty good to me.
Saints fans have given up on their heroes.
Come on, Trent, go hard.
Ormond Allen against Everett. It gets up pretty high too, number 21, and Adelaide win it. Burton out of the middle. Hudson gets back for the Saints. Beckett kicks out wide, just past the Seagulls. Campbell. Oh, good contest, James. Play on. James kick back to half forward. Beckett. Well, the Crows played at Waverley earlier this season and beat Hawthorn in round 2 by 4 points. They look as though they might make it 2 out of 2. Another 50-metre penalty, this time going to Beckett, who gave one away when he was reported for a trip. Beckett on the breeze, just short of full forward. Everett underneath it. Lots of players here. It's too crowded for the forwards. Comes out to Lowe. Tunnels the ball. Bassett's there. Burton. Absolute class. It'll be a great contest in that Norwich Union Rising Star Award between himself and Goods. Risciuto, very Goods there. Play on. The whistle went. Free was paid. Advantage to Jarman. Wide. Johnson just can't reach it.
And there's another example of having 3 tall players in your forward 50. Tall players, more or less, make players come to them. And if the ball happens to go to ground, it's in congestion more often than not. St Kilda at some stage have got to look for a better, probably, forward structure, knowing that their key players, if they don't mark the ball, it's been the Adelaide defence that have cleared it far too easily and far too often.
Gallagher with just a quick kick on out. Some space. McLaren cleaning up. Not sure where to go. In fact, concedes ground back to Young. St Kilda were in front for 1 minute late in the second quarter. Other than that, it has just been all the Crows. Zilla.
Phil, I've got to say, Terry, this is some of the worst disposal I've ever seen in an AFL game.
Let's see what Timmy Costa can do here now. He drags it around. Jarman can't take it. Gallagher spinning out. Caught up in the second tackle from Thompson, and that's dropping the ball.
Well, when a ball hits Darren Jarman on the head, something strange is happening.
Yeah, well, he actually slipped on that occasion, Drew, as the ball was coming forward, but it's just been, as Curl said, it's the foot disposal, probably more from St Kilda's point of view. That was a good kick, but they're going too short and putting themselves under pressure, trying to find players who got their direct opponent sitting right behind them.
So Beckett received it from Lowe, then on out to Darryl Wakeland on the outer side.
Harvey off, boys.
Up in the forward line, Burke working it. Robert Harvey takes a spell, the game well beyond them. Adelaide led at quarter time by 9 points. was just 3 at half-time, but then a 5-goal to 1 third quarter. Their lead was out to 26. Now it's 33. So with Harvey off, Jarman involved there, but Harvey off, the game seemingly right out of the Saints' control now.
Well, it was the disposal which made the ball hit Jarman on the head because he had to change direction and slipped. Burton, he can mark, he can tackle, he can smother, he can kick goals. Smart's been fantastic. Back to Rashudo, who's right back in business. And Benke was clean bowled. Taken by Hayes. Oh, Burton intercepts. Away come the Crows. Bickley breaks from half-back. Up towards the centre, drawing a man. Kane Johnson can't stop getting the ball. Johnson's kick inside 50. Gallagher runs onto it. Could get a goal here, young David Gallagher. Around Aussie Jones easily. Poor old kick. He just put that up in the air and threw for a behind.
Gee, fellas, Timmy Watson at the completion, or now even, has got some terrible, terrible problems.
Well, there's Robbie Harvey. Today, 16 kicks, 6 handballs. So 22 disposals, and his season average is 28 and a half. So he's come back from the calf injury, not quite up to speed how we've known him in the last 2.5 seasons.
So here comes Zilla, drags it on into, and here's Barry Hall. And is this the start of the comeback that you tipped, Curls? Because didn't you tip the Saints at the start of the game, mate?
Thank you, Terry, for reminding me.
Just thought it was an opportune moment.
I just thought their big man's strength would be the deciding issue, but that hasn't been the fact.
And I would agree with you that it should have been. They've been most disappointing in that area. Paul, he has 2 goals, 1 in the first and 1 in the second. It's a belated one, but he's got his third.
Here's a family who wants to enhance their outdoor living area and add value to their home with a new deck and garden. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist.
40-tooth blade, the more teeth on the blade, the finer the cut. So the tooth.
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
Oh, what's here?
Well, a long line of tall blokes down the years have been telling us how important they are in the overall scheme of the game. And here it's meant absolutely nothing. So this is one for the little blokes' wheels.
And I think the guilty part, if you want to name, Matthew Young, Justin Peckett and Nathan Burke have just messed around across the half-back line too many times today when the more direct route is what you should be taking.
Yep, valid point. 5.5 minutes to go. 28-point deficit for the Saints. I suppose if miracles happened, it could happen, but on play you wouldn't put any money on it.
There's no way the Crows would let this slip anywhere out of their grasp today. They've been extremely good at the entire components of the game, attacking the ball, aggressive at it, and in terms of completing the skills.
There's one for a big fella. Everett's got it right in front. On the breeze, he goes long and he's kicked it into the next suburb, but nowhere near goals. That was a shocker, Pete.
Yeah, disappointing return from Everett. Obviously trying to get a goal scored for St Kilda just by blazing away. But that's typified St Kilda's approach today. They haven't been methodical at all, especially their entries into their forward 50.
Burke will find it hard to get a ball out of here. The umpire balls it up. So time, 4 minutes 43 to go.
Mickey, you're right. They're burst runners going through the midfield area. Just haven't been there today.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to generate any run through. They haven't had any players running the lines, merely because they've been stagnant. They've tried to kick it short and play the possession game rather than trying to invent some run into their play. Aussie Jones was good early. McLaren's been in and out of it. Harvey's been the same. Burke's gone to midfield, tried to give a lift. Thompson's got a fair amount of the footy, but generally there's been no run in their legs.
Mind you, the Crows' defence has been very good too.
Oh, exactly. No doubt about that.
Now, Nigel Smart has been terrific, and he's gone ahead of the play here. He's got his 2 goals, Curls. He's nominated, he wanted 3 for today, and he might be looking for it too in the last 4 minutes of play.
No, Nigel's put him in defence in the last quarter. Malcolm, sorry.
That doesn't stop him kicking goals, though.
Where's his head shining? I can't see him.
Yeah, he's across half-back. He's by himself at this stage. Most St Kilda players push back, try to flood the hole. But the Adelaide Crows will basically play a possession game, try to find someone free, otherwise kick long to their tallest target in their forward 50.
So David Gallagher into half forward. And there's Brian Benke again.
Yeah, and when St Kilda have had possession of the ball and gone forward, they've just left far too many Crows players unattended for the turnover ball coming back.
Benke, who made his debut against Hawthorn earlier in the year, was in round 2. He's kicked 2 goals twice, including last week. This one right up to the square. There's Everett. Bounces out of his hands, the only man there. St Kilda have to work it at ground level. Peckett and Burke again combined. This time the kick wobbles on out of defence, though. Not an effective one. Jones met heavily by Smart. Gallagher works with Smart. Everett over the top. So Elliott in underneath there, the big man, and the bounce will be executed just 5 metres in from the boundary line. But St Kilda continue to trail, and the third quarter continues to be their bogey. During the last 4 games, they've kicked 2-2, 1-1 goals in the third quarters. And you're never going to win a game of football doing that.
Yeah, and if they blamed the wind today, and were hoping for the wind to help them home in the last quarter, it just hasn't happened. There's been 2 goals each in the last.
It's just not there, is it? No, it's clearly been just the lack of direct play out of defence, channeling the ball into where St Kilda's strength is, and inside their marking options in the forward line. Bickley just quickly on into the forward line, flying up over the top is Hart, spins around, loses his footing. The handball doesn't find a Crow. The Saints take it through Burke out towards the wing.
Andrew Thompson takes an excellent mark. Away to Elliott. Dodging and weaving.
There's another example.
Yeah, and the kick to no one. It's gone wide, and it's 55 metres from goal, and so easy for Bassett to see it out.
Yeah, too many players are trying to do, or trying to complicate the issue. Elliott had the opportunity, as soon as he received that handball, to go direct to their marking players. Decided to evade, give himself some space, but in doing that, he put himself under pressure to kick the ball.
Well, that's a free kick to Lowe. Hart over his shoulder for his leap. Got a pretty high bent, Hart. Lowe couldn't make the distance from there. He centres the ball for Hall, who's gone right out of it. Bassett's been excellent. Campbell hooked it back too far for a behind. Brad Campbell playing just his 3rd game of the year, 21st of his career.
It's not as if it's going to get any easier for St Kilda, Drew. After this week, they then take on the Western Bulldogs, Kangaroos, Carlton, and then finish up with round 22 against the West Coast Eagles at the Wacker. That's a fair month of football in anyone's language.
Yeah, and they're so unstable at the club. I mean, Ken Sheldon got the sack. He got him in the finals. Stan Alves got him in the finals. He got the sack. So, Timmy, you don't want to miss out too often. Back towards midfield. Courageous effort in there by Elliott. But he gave the hand pass straight to Smart. Here's his chance, girls.
Third goal.
Oh, he might follow up and get it back. Good pass to McGregor. No, Nigel's, he's not running past, but he's worked beautifully. Just a minute to go. The Crows are going to beat the Saints for the 2nd time this year, but importantly, away from home at Waverley in Melbourne. Gallagher. Oh! We waited till the last minute, but there it is, and a goal.
Sunday, a wicked comedy premiere of cold drinks, Barbies, a wedding, and you see.
He wants what? Helicopter for, you know?
Based on a true story. Colin Friels, Jackie McKenzie, Mr. Reliable, Sunday on 7. Season finale.
I'd say nice to see you, but might be getting on a false note. You're going. Fired. You too. Bye-bye. I'm a sucker for tears, so I'll leave before anybody cries.
When Mandy Patinkin returns.
The inmate coming back to run the asylum.
Chicago Hope, Monday.
Surface of Waverley Park. Up you go, boy. Find your feet, play on and kick a great goal. You're 4th for the day in another terrific effort from a promising young player, Brett Burton.
Brett Burton.
He nearly knocked the blimp out of the air.
Unbelievable. If Cadbury's don't give him a whole box and dice of chocolates, so go he. Continually does it. He's in the area again. Peckett has it for St Kilda. It's down to 30 seconds of the game left. Peckett's kick misses Thompson. 3 Saints go in there. Crows trying to work it on out. It's Edwards at the bottom of it, but it's Brett Burton. That is just unbelievable how regularly he does it.
And how about taking the mark of the day and playing on to kick the goal?
Yep, we've done that on 2 occasions. And he actually had another chance to take a terrific mark over Nathan Burke on centre wing, but terrific victory.
There she blows. The Crows win and the Saints officially have the wobbles. And that's only Adelaide's 4th win in the last 3 months. Their previous victims have been well outside the 8. But today they've beaten the top 8 side in St Kilda. And where to now for the Saints?
Yeah, well, where to now? I suppose the question's got to come back to the players concerned. They're the players that have got, they're the blokes that have got to get themselves out of the hole they've dug. Responsibility's got to lie within the playing ranks. I always say responsibility, you divide it, the ability to choose your response. You can control your own direction at times. That's where St Kilda are at the moment. To Adelaide's credit, they were the team of the moment. They attacked the footy from the start. But down to you, Curls.
Yeah, thanks very much, boys. Well, Mark, as captain of this team, you're a pretty happy man tonight.
Yeah, very happy. You know, we're undermanned as far as big men go, and you look at St Kilda, and probably got 2 or 3 of the best big men in the game. So for us to be flexible enough to have a different game plan and still get away with the 4 points is a great effort.
Obviously, it was banked on a lot of run and movement, and particularly from your smaller players.
Yeah, it had to be. We had to play on as soon as we could and just get back and move it quickly. And our young fleet were great, and Burton in the air again was good. And we just moved around the forward line, and we just took a while to break through. The second half was much better.
If Burton hadn't got that high mark tied up yet, he should have that one there.
The way he's going, he might end up with all 6 in the mark of the year. He just has a happy knack of doing it, and he's just one of those guys you come to watch to play footy.
You blokes are still in there. You're in with a chance now.
Oh, yeah, well, it's a good win today, and we can build on this, and next week's another week, and we'll give it our best shot.
All the best.
Thanks, mate.
Well, that's right, Curls. They're now only 1 game behind St Kilda, and depending on other results, with a month to go, look out the Crows. You just never know.
Yeah, well, that's one thing you certainly don't know about this football game. But to Adelaide Crows' credit, they kicked 15 goals today, but more importantly, 11 of them were from marks in their forward 50.
And they have 3 games at Footy Park, Drew. And this week they got Brisbane, then Sydney, but Port Adelaide and the Kangaroos. Just the way they played today.
Yeah. I've seen them a lot recently, and that was their best effort. I know Curls criticised the disposal, but disposal on both sides for the last 2 weeks has been absolutely terrible. But I just thought their application, and obviously, as the skipper said, they went in with a game plan, and that was one of their best wins in the last couple of months, I reckon, for the Crows. And I did hear somebody on radio say that if results fell particular ways, the Crows could even finish 2nd, would you believe?
Hurry to McDonald's for your last chance at the Match and Win Monopoly. You can still win Honda HRVs, holidays to Disneyland, flying Air New Zealand, and cash from Aussie Home Loans. Dictate! Hotel on Mayfair, thanks.
It can happen at any time. You're building a bridge or moving a fridge and you feel like you're just gonna burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. You're shoveling sand or building a dam. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
Hi. Listen, I'm really sorry about what happened. Is there anything I can do to help get your car back on the road?
Well, with Amy, they're taking care of everything.
Quotes?
Done.
Repairs?
Done.
Good quality?
Guaranteed for the life of the car, even if I sell it.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess you don't need me then. Have a nice day.
A free service that takes care of all your post-crash running around. Call Amy now.
Phone now to order the Adelaide Crows 1998 Premiership Plate. This commemorative plate has MCG and player colour action images with game stats and scores. There's only a limited number left. Now half price for Father's Day, only $24.95. Phone 1-800-151-777 now. This price is only available for Father's Day. Don't miss out on this great offer at only $24.95. Phone 1-800-151-777.
Sales tax cuts are here, and the savings are huge at Truscott Hi-Fi because we cut more than just the tax. Outgo Panasonic 68cm TVs slashed to just $998. Outgo Sony 6-head VCRs slashed to just $549. Sharp View Cams cut to only $998. And Kenwood 240-watt Dolby Prologic Hi-Fis slashed to $699. Save on tax, save on prices at Truscott. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
If you in any way served in the Australian or Allied military forces or as a civilian, then August the 13th to the 15th is your weekend, and August the 15th is your Remembrance Day. There's a Friday night cabaret on the Torrens Parade Ground. On the Sunday, come and march from the GPO to the Cross of Sacrifice. See Touched by Fire for the first time, and with your family and friends, enjoy a picnic day with a free all-star concert. Everyone will be there. Join us at your Remembrance Weekend. To know more, phone us.
Want to see the Pure Milk 36ers play in Milan? Just watch Channel 7's All Saints 8:30 on Tuesday night and collect tokens from specially night Pure Milk packs to win a family trip. See the Pure Milk 36ers take on the world.
On Today Tonight, would you pay $1,200 for this awful video?
I've never seen anything so bad in all my life.
Or more than $2,000 for this appalling effort?
Very, very badly shot.
Today Tonight investigates shoddy video producers.
It's a poor quality job.
And you should hear the excuses.
I simply was a salesman.
And Caught in the Act, revealing Adelaide suburbs' worst hit by phone vandals.
This is a $10 million crime.
Plus low-cost medicine. We compare the brands next week on 7.
Well, they sang that with gusto, and why wouldn't they? They're now just one game out of the 8. One game behind St Kilda, who have got the wobbles, and the Crows 15-9-99 defeated St Kilda 9-12-66. They led at every change and won eventually by 33 points, with Burton kicking 4 goals and taking mark of the day, and Jarman kicking 3. The leading goal scorer for St Kilda was Barry Hall, who kicked 3 goals. It's amazing there to see the aerial shot of Waverley and to consider that at the end of this season it will no longer be an AFL venue. But I'm looking forward to football going to the Docklands, to the stadium there in the new year. It should be fantastic. There was one other game played today, and it was the game at the MCG between Melbourne and Geelong. Let's take a look at some highlights.
Knows that goes in short. Intended for Pickering. Not a great kick. It's still in play. Pickering. Bends it back. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked it. That's an amazing goal.
There's Stoneham in the square. Says kick it high. Big Barry's already kicked 2. He's strong. This to put the Cats 16 points up. He's drilled it.
White knocks it down. Back it comes to Farmer. Oh, he's got speed to burn. Jeff Farmer long up towards full forward. Oh, beautiful mark. 15 metres out directly in front. Gets the goal.
He's moving the ruck too, KB. That's why he's down the ground.
Neats, the danger man on screen. He's on a long lead. That's Schwartz as well. Neats now. Ducks back, still inside 50. Here he comes. He's got it. This will take a big kick. He's just on 50. Unloads. Stands and delivers.
Plenty of Melbourne jumpers there. Farmer. Hand pass intercepted by Riccardi. Into the goal square. Mansfield needs the bat for him. He kicks and goals. It's looking a little bit steadier at the moment in the final quarter. The early stages thereof. Off the hands of the pack. Burns dangerous here. Burns goes at goal. He won't miss and puts it through. technical bounce favours Schwartz. Vitacaro snaps, and he has put it through.
Now, some stations taking a replay of that game after this, especially in South Australia. So if you don't wish to know the score, look away now. Well, in our game here at Waverley, a 33-point win to the Crows, who, again, won away from Adelaide, and, well, they're still in there with a shot. It's incredible, but they can still make it.
Yeah, well, they actually can. Mathematically, it's possible. Of course, they can only control their own destiny by winning games. They can't be dependent on other sides doing them a favour. But to win their second game on the road, that would be pleasing.
Do you want to meet the Birdman? He took the mark of the day again. We waited until the last minute, but here is Brett Burton with curls.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. Well, Kane, you've been on off the ground a bit the last few weeks, just running into the game, but that second half, you really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good to get a run on the ball, and me and Brett Burton were actually changing out of the middle and sort of sharing the midfield role and keeping everyone fresh, so it was good to get a few touches and have a win.
Now, today you went into the game with, you know, very, very short in the ruck department. Was there any type of game plan in the middle?
Yeah, we sort of, because we thought Everett's going to get his hand on the ball most of the time, and we sort of knew where he was going to hit it, so we tried to get our men in there and sort of sit one out. I thought it worked quite well, and we read the ball off the hand pretty well, I thought.
With Trent Orman-Allen in ruck in the last quarter, did any of you think of sort of getting your hands to give him a leap up?
Well, everyone knows Trent's got a big leap, so we just needed a contest in there. We knew we weren't going to win him, but we just needed a contest, and he gave us one, and I thought he did pretty well.
Nigel Smart on the wing in the last few weeks, been very good for you?
Yeah, he gives us plenty. He's a really quick player, and he gives us a lot of run on the wing out there, and him and Kim Costa have worked really well together, and hopefully he can keep it going.
And I thought Bassett today came back for you very, very well. Very, very well.
Yeah, he's had you'd say a bit of a quiet spell there for a while, but today I thought he was one of our best players and really held up that back line and set up some run for the midfield.
Young McGregor, centre half forward, only a kid, but slowly progressing.
Yeah, you can see he's going to be a quality player, and he's getting better each week, and these last 4 or 5 games are going to be really good for him for the future, I think.
As I said to Mark Victor, your captain, all of a sudden there is a sniff of a chance of the 8.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to think about that at the moment. We're just going to play each week, and look, if we win every game, we might be a chance, but we're just going to get through each week and just see how it goes.
Great game today, son. You're on the way back. All the best. Back to you, Drew.
Yeah, thanks, Curl. Of course, Kane Johnson, who was terrific once he came off the bench. But I was getting excited about the Birdman, Burton. But let's have a look at this mark in the last minute. Absolutely phenomenal.
He just jumps early, Drew. That's the key to him. He's got magnificent balance while he's in flight. Finds his feet quickly and kicks a goal. But he is an outstanding talent.
They used to have Modra, but they've got a pretty good replacement. Now let's have a look at the stats for the game today. And you might see the Saints have had more of the pill, but the Crows just went straighter.
Yeah, well, they certainly did, especially in the first half when St Kilda basically controlled the game, I thought. But in terms of playing a direct brand of footy, Adelaide Crows certainly did that. Across the board, possessions basically even, marks much the same. The tackles, I thought Adelaide's pressure was very good. Centre breaks, they squared out after half-time when Adelaide had a 4 ascendancy advantage. Inside 50s, relatively even, but in the summary of the game, Adelaide Crows, it was their direct approach to goal, whereas St Kilda, they mucked around with it far too often across half-back.
Yeah, and they got beaten by 6 goals, and here are the votes that you've put in today.
Yeah, well, I gave Rashudo 3 merely because I thought he was the player that stabilised that back half, very strong at the footy. He typified the hardness of approach. Johnson, since come off the interchange bench, he was very good. He got 30-odd possessions. I thought Burton started in midfield, pushed forward to kick 4 goals. He was of enormous value for his team.
Well, when Burton's taking marks like that, you can't have enough cameras, and we had enough. Here's another angle of that mark.
Have a look at this, Drew. Get up, boy. Magnificent mark and a good goal.